Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Esports Wales. We're here with some of the IESF friendlies here today with the Welsh national Dota team. I've got my compatriot Dota here with me. How you doing this evening?
All's well and good. I mean, a little bit of international fun is never out of the question, right here in Western Europe, so to say.
Exactly, and it's always nice to see the team get a chance to sort of flex their muscles. We do know that the draft is already now underway, so we'll get ourselves right over to that. Okay.
Overall, it's a real bit of an interesting jumble of nations here in the Western European scene, as far as I could tell. Like, Wales and Tunisia fighting each other is a little bit unheard of. Not even in footy would I guess. Now we would have something like this.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Wales have played Tunisia in football, but here we are. Pick wise, yeah, that Ringmaster first ban, that Ringmaster has just been absolutely nightmarish in the pro scene right now, and I imagine probably similar in high level pubs. Not that I know anything about that, but standard Jakiro looks like a fairly standard support ban as well at the moment. I know that TA's also been a really strong carry. We've got an ancient apparition for the start. What are your
I
thoughts on that?
I think that's a little bit of a mistake on our part. Obviously, we are rooting for the Welsh boys over here, but yeah, letting the AA through is kind of a mishap. Of course, the boys in Tunisia have been doing a little bit of the homework. I do believe we do play the Nature's Prophet on our lineups
Yeah, I
as
was going to
well.
say that feels targeted. That feels set. Well, it could be targeted because Iggy does play it as a one, but at the same time, it is also, from my understanding, it's a pretty um, strong core.
Ooh, but I do like the Medusa counter. Nice little response. Of course, Medusa doesn't really mind the Ice Blast overall. Your main HP pool is your mana in general. So this could be just a frontal face tank for the team overall. Although I don't know the style of the boys, so do we play the offlane Medusa at all, or is it something we've practiced before? Of course,
I'll be candid, I'm not entirely sure, but I would imagine, considering how prominent that hero is in high level pubs, it could really go either way. I think um, the it's a pretty good flexible core pick, I'd say. In terms of you can go either way with it really. You can have it as the offlaner, or you can have it go that sort of really greedy pos one.
yeah, greedy pause one. We are protecting it. Of course, it has to be noted. I am a little bit imposter casting over here. Nation of origin is Hungary in general, and we have played Wales overall, but the friendship stayed and the connection stayed, and I'm really happy to step in for. Usually cast with Wishful Kit, I do believe.
Yeah, Kit wasn't available,
Yeah,
and she on the one hand she is missed, but I've also enjoyed casting with you, so you were actually one of the names I suggested, so I'm glad that we managed to grab you.
greatly appreciated, and of course, all the love and shout out to Kit. Of course, if anyone noticed on my mic, we still have the little Night Stalker sitting over there. She was very enthusiastic about me making little Night Stalker keychains back in Berlin. So shout out to her. And yeah, it's been a while since I sat down with Imposter
Mhm.
Purge and Wishful Kit, of course. Shout out to her lovely
So
husband as well. But yeah, out comes the Tusk. Now that is a
yeah,
defense position 4 or 5. Not really sure of the style, as we discussed
I
before.
think it's more likely to be a four. I do think it is more likely to be a four. I think I prefer Tusk as a four generally, but we have been seeing a fair bit of Tusk 5 in the pros. I know that Insania on Liquid has played it a fair bit. Um, trying to think about what other really strong supports are still available in the pool for both us and for Tunisia. We're looking at. We haven't seen
Dire team pick.
a lot of sort of strong.
Ooh, the boys are on Tunisia are getting ready for something big here. Magnus is, of
Yeah, that's a
course, a big
big team
utility.
fight
Position 3, position 2, we've seen it all in all
sometimes.
regions, basically. A little bit of chaos, of course, since the API blockage
10
from Valve
seconds
itself.
Mm.
I don't know if you've heard of that, but just a bit of an
5
introduction to our
seconds
general
remaining.
audience. The meta followage for the upper echelons of Dota has been a little bit
Yes, yeah.
chaotic, and ESL Rally, which is a stupid name of pronouncing that city. It should be Ralef. I don't know why. It's not Ralef, by the way.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, jokes aside, and of course in PGL Wallachia, we've seen these recent impacts on the meta changes, right? There is a meta that the tournament follows after the Swiss group stage, but
That was a
at the end
slam
of there,
pick
we
there.
steal the Ursa. That's a good read over there, and they defend the Magnus with the Rubik. That is not a bad followage right now from Tunisia, but I like the steal of the Ursa for ourselves. This kind of forces the enemy to go into PA or
Dire
Troll,
team pick.
which I'm not a fan of either, especially against the CM. This is a great read from Wales.
Yeah, so I think we were right about the. So I think I was right about the Tusk, being the 4 here. The CM much more likely to be the 5, especially with
10 seconds remaining.
frostbite. So the Ursa can get some
5
overpower.
seconds
Fury
remaining.
swipes in.
Dire
I think that'd be
team
pretty
ban.
nasty. For what it's worth, ooh. Oh wow! Lots of spell stealing going on from Tunisia over here, both with the Rubik and with the Morphling. Um, it was interesting. One thing I was wanting to note is that Tunisia seemed to be under the impression that the Medusa was the
Radiant team ban.
3, so which looks like it was the case because of their bans of the Monkey King and the Terrorblade there.
Yeah, they go straight into it right now. They want to counter the Medusa here at the end of the phase number 2. I don't usually advise this change, and my limited conversations, of course, with Blitz have always led to the fact that countering into the enemy offlane could lead you to be countered by the mid pick overall.
Yeah.
But both of these teams have been doing their homework. All 4 of these bans right now are heavily focused on the mid lane.
Yeah, I think the ban of the Invoker was a smart choice considering they had the Magnus. The RP into the Cataclysm is no joke, especially considering that they have the setup for the AA Blast as well. We have an Akasha, a Queen of Pain, so lots of big wombo combo team fight. Looking here with the Magnus into the Quap and the AA. Little tiny thing to be careful of is to make sure that the your Sonic Wave doesn't push the enemies out of the Ice Blast, but Ice Blast is usually a big enough AoE, depending on how far you cast it from, that shouldn't really be a problem. Good Ember ban, considering that the Neb mid laner, if it is him that's playing, is a pretty mean Ember player. Curious about what we could still see coming out here. I mean, we've got
I think a Storm could perfectly fit over here, especially the backline could suffer hard. Maybe something might get caught up by the Rubik or the Magnus, but I don't think you care. Puck would have been huge for us, but I don't see the Ember having fun in this situation. Pango, don't
see
truly
that
agree with
very
this.
often anymore.
Don't truly
I mean,
agree with this.
I'm here for it. I actually quite like the. I think that the only problem you're going to have is to make sure that you're out of the range of the RP. But even then, if you're still in the Rolling Thunder, as it happens, in theory, Magnus will also take the stun from it. So the ability to set up the further movement combo is a little bit disrupted, I guess.
I think overall there are 2 moving counters for Wales. and Neb is not going to have the bestest of times, but if he is actually taking the Pango mid lane, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, he is. He appears to be. I think. I think that the idea behind it is that you essentially, okay, it's going to suck getting screamed and daggered, but you do a lot with your lucky shot and the procs from the swashbuckle. So I think he is a hero that can sort of trade favorably. That's my admittedly rudimentary understanding of
Prepare for battle.
how that lane goes.
No, the lane overall is going to be fine. You can force out the even, especially with the shield crash. You do have that little protection overall.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't mind it at all. I do believe, though, that with the double stoppages, I'm not sure we're going to have enough time on our hands so that Flying Spaghetti will get enough of a farm to get in here. But, you know, overall, Iggy, it's up to Iggy to get into this one, and then the rest will fall, I guess, into place.
So Pango went the better maneuverability in the role, which I think is generally correct. Well, the smoke's been revealed there. They chose not to take the easy courier blood, just on the off chance that they might be able to maybe get a jump on Tunisia there.
I don't think so.
Their instincts are quite
smoke, but yeah, with the Watcher being taken over, this is going to be a little bit of an awkward switcheroo positioning. Running down into the river rune now could be a big mistake for Neb and the boys.
The battle begins.
It looks like the
They're
names
able to-
weren't set properly, but we can always cheat off the good little scoreboard if push comes to shove.
Oh, that's not ideal though for the Quap. The Quap's had to take Blink at level 1. That is not a good feeling.
Obviously, as soon as you see the CM, you'd rather want to jump out. There, of course, are
Oh,
situations where
yeah.
you get that frostbite instead. But yeah, not ideal for sure. This could be a good start for Neb overall. Zenedi could be
just
in
gonna.
big ass trouble over there. I'm trying to check out MMRs over here at the same time, but not much is seen. Of course, we are in lobby view and stuff, and other API sources aren't that super helpful, obviously. But yeah, in general, I do believe we have a little bit of an edge in terms of MMR on the whale side. Usually has been the case in the past few years, that is, but you know, times have changed.
Yeah, I think that we've got. I think I quite like our lane setup overall as well in terms of the. I think that we do quite. I think we have a, pretty nasty lane down the bottom with the CM there with the Ursa. It might be a bit dicey sort of early doors, but once a couple of levels in the Fury swipes and you get that value point in your Q, and then the overpower, I think that you can, if you've got a good Q into W combo from the CM, I think that Ursa could be able to force a lot of health out of the Magnus or the Rubik, depending
Hold
on.
up, something is going on up top. Oh, there goes Amon as well. Good catch for us on the first blood.
Nice.
I've been critical of this lane actually, in the draft stage. I was like, hold on, down bottom as well. It looks like he's in a little bit of trouble. Good catch, good turn on to the Rubik, and with another right click, it's gonna be an easy kill for life itself. But even with the Crystal Nova shield, it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, that barrier was always going to make it harder, but I don't think he even got any hits into the physical barrier there. Just Ursa was able to, and Ursa went straight for the overpower rather than the Earth Shock. Maybe the thing I pointed out about the slow into the route. I think AA might be about to.
The combination
no,
should have been hit better. Now goes the grasp. But yeah, Amon, they need to combine their strategies with the adaptive strikes, but so far, of course, we see that Kusai is rather going for a bit of a waveform right-clicky type of deal. He'd rather want to attack, force
Oh,
himself into
wow.
the attack team. Good jump from Neb, but of course the water runes are going to make this a little trickier of an encounter. Zenity has made a
See,
wonderful recovery with 11-3 now on the lane. It should be way bigger of a difference at 3.5 minutes if you start off with Blink, so seems to be working for him. There's the telekinesis combo, but no skewer, surprisingly enough.
yeah, I think.
Interesting an approach.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, I mean, I say all things considered, has been able, as you said, has been able to close that gap ever so slightly. However, it's really skirting the line there with safety in terms of health. Yeah,
Now this is a difference that I'd be more acquainted with. This is 7 lasted difference is what you usually see once you start off with the blink, because you just basically don't have that physical capability of keeping up with the right clicks of the enemies, because you start off with blink instead of the scream. What surprisingly enough is how Spartan is just sitting on this lane. You should be extremely punished with the Medusa against the Morphling, but it doesn't look like
that's
Kusai, the boys can keep up
time.
the ice combination coming out with the shards into the Gorgon's Rasp, and of course even the creeps are helping now. Where are you gonna go? Nowhere. Take out your courier. I don't want to be Kusai in this game at all.
This is good show from Wales. Start early doors is nice positives. Just getting
little jump on the bottom
these free
as well.
kills in the lane.
Soya needs to run with the Rubik as much as possible, but nice little counter with the shock, and of course the skewer. See a little bear. Does not fall.
So now finally has that flask and the wand that he lost earlier on from when his courier died.
Hold on, another catch. Maloon. Oh, so yeah, you need to run. You need to run a little more, but turn onto the Magnus instead. Well, if I can't hit one, I'll hit the other.
Yeah, I think Wales will quite happily take that. Fail to kill the POS 4, but kill the POS 3 instead. That's a trade I take every single time. Tusk rotating now to see if they can help secure that rune, just because you don't want Quap to have any real chance to be able to have the sustain to be able to sort of stay in this lane and try and bridge that gap. We're at a 9 last hit, 2 denied golf at the moment, so Neb already. Yeah, just going to use the ult, see if you're able to get the Quap, and the movement there is going to be much more helpful in terms of the ability to get.
I don't think Zenity's getting out of here. Holy hell!
Wow.
That's a little bit too close for my comfort. I'm surprised that he didn't wait for backup to arrive and then just turn for the Sonic Wave. That's how the suicidal gameplay we've come to know from Quinn and Nisha is what you usually go for. Big balls, big rewards, but I guess, you just gotta run with the Queen as up top. We have once again the catch. This Ice Shard combination, it's flawless, but Zanetti is gonna come in and ruin the fun with a Sonic Wave. Spartan's rather low now. That 1/4 mana pool is basically your cue to run the hell away, but the 1-for-1 exchange still favoring us heavily. Hold on, Neb in the pit is gonna wait for Zanetti, the Queen of Pain. Oh no, not like this, but there's the blink.
Yeah. So the Tusk's now going to go and get the Wisdom Shrine, just because the Rubik had already gone and got theirs, pretty much dead on 7 minutes. Wasn't sure if after that rotation and getting the kill, if Tunisia were going to use the different, use the time to try and contest for that, because I think it is early doors a pretty important objective. But Clearly, they didn't think it was worth it, so
8-minute power
Neb
room.
just
Let's see it.
enjoying.
Nice little
That's just
steal
top. It's just
attempt,
Linda's
but
room.
it's going to be up top. More really cares. And your TP is going to be broken. Let's have a little bit of a pinball machine play with the Rolling Thunder and say goodbye to the Grand Magus. Of course, at the same time, our little Pooh Bear, Iggy, is going to find another kill on the Magnus. And, of course, we get the Ancient Apparition as a bonus up top. Might lose Ash Teasy here, but you know what? 3 for 1. A nice little Tesco exchange right there.
Ooh!
Would have been, but no follow-up from the Morph. Interesting
Yeah,
enough,
Tusk just gonna
only like 5
get
more
himself
seconds.
to safety, let those tranquils kick in. Maybe make a stack for the Deucer or somebody. No, just gonna just chill behind the tower for a moment.
Yeah, go for the aggressive approach. You do have another Lotus coming up in 10 seconds. Why the hell no? It is up on the mid lane. You once again have this aggressive approach from Neb. It's paying off hard. As he just skitters away with the Invis Rune. 30 seconds until the next Rolling Thunder, so I wouldn't stick around personally, but Fusel is almost on the way as well. This is just a very comfortable position for Wales.
Yeah, the old classic regen min-maxing that you see with...
down bottom, we have these rotations coming through, but Nev is up on the top lane. Down goes the Morphling. It's a little bit of a risky little transition with the Invis Room, but it's paying off. 3 people wanted to TP bottom, but only 1 makes it down. And Zanetti's going to find themselves over here in a 3v1 situation. Is down bottom, we take out the Rubik. We might just get a team wipe here at 10 minutes in. Make it sub 10. Zanetti just dies down. Zanetti TP's out. No team wipe for us, but still 4 for nothing.
Yeah, this is it's pretty close to being a bit out of control here. There's still chance for a big you know, wombo combo from all of the ults. We can't count that out, but I actually don't know if they have enough damage. I think you can kill the supports, but Pango, especially if Pango's been able to get the shield, you know, the shield crash off before and got any kind of barrier, it's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be tricky, and this Ursa's looking like he's really close to the Battle Fury now at this point. Looks like one of the 2 broadswords is coming out, so once that's done...
Zanetti finally going for the hunt, taking out our Pangolier. But, you know, it's these are just all over the place right now from Tunisia for the approach. Right now, it should generally be just pressuring the bear, as you mentioned. Delaying this Battle Fury is your #1 cause. You don't really care about the Medusa to position 3. But either opening up the mid lane, that Zanetti is doing right now, or pressuring down the Ursa out of the lane would be your #1 priorities. You have RP, you still don't have the Ice Blast, I do understand that, but at the same time, just fighting in general with all these losses, it's not a situation you want to be in. The 5k net worth difference is humongous.
Like 11.5 minutes, what are we talking about here, you know? It's where's this Medusa got item-wise? She got her...
Hold on, Neb might be overextending over here, but no freeze with the cold feet, no telekinesis for the raise. In comes Ash Teasy for the help. The Ice Shards kind of blocks the stun.
Oh.
As in comes the Magnus, but no catch over here. As soon as it's a 4v2 situation, we're going to back off of it, which seemed to be the wise approach.
Just, again, forcing the Quap to have to run back to base pretty consistently. I'm pretty sure that's the 3rd time I've seen her have to make the blink and walk of shame to base. So that's the meme hammer on Medusa. Answered my earlier question. She's almost got the Rod of Atos, which is going to go into the Gleipnir. I really love the change of Gleipnir being being a much more, you know, off-lane centric item now.
This is what you usually do. Hold on, Neb. Almost getting caught out once again, but the snowball save coming through. As of course, we do have a little bit of Crystal Maiden Freezing Field coming out as well from Rife itself. Just blocking off any attempt from Tunisia from coming out as well. I did not catch your earlier question, but What was it?
regarding
Was
the
it about
Medu-
the regarding Medusa's current build?
Yeah, what she's currently got, and now
Oh,
we've already had the answer to that question. So yeah,
this skip
she's more than halfway to the full
rod.
Gleipnir.
Yeah, this slow approach build is never my favorite personally. As in comes Zanetti for a little bit of tickling, but that's all she can do. I don't like that you skip the boots personally, but it has been the thing that yes, you go for
Well,
Rod
yeah,
of
'cause you've
Atos,
got
Gleipnir, control
it's because of
first.
undulation.
Yeah,
You've got your movement speed is fixed, isn't
exactly.
it? So
Yeah, yeah,
there's no
yeah.
point. Like what are boots?
Exactly, but at the same time, to increase your mana, I would still personally add the Arcane and the GG, which does sound retarded, I know, but back in the day, I do believe we didn't watch that together. Correction, I watched that with Kit when Zai first originally came up on the fly in the new patch for the offlane Medusa build. As down goes Eamon. They make a transition. Steal of the Snowball could be a little bit tricky coming in from the Rubik. There it is as
Oh,
well.
nice.
But let's
Yeah,
see the
that's really
follow-up. As the
smooth.
rolling ends, then goes the RP. A good hold on to two, a skewerage. But at the same time, there's just too many of us here at the outpost. This is not your territory anymore, Tunisia. We've taken over.
Yeah, that's rough. I think at that point that was a panic. That was clearly a panic ult.
Dire's bottom tower
Hindsight's 2020, but I think at that point you just accept that you've taken an L there, and you just accept that you're gonna die, so you've got your big spells for later on. Especially since the Quap does currently have her ult. I think I would have rather not thrown it. Just take the L there, and know that you're gonna have a big fight where you can get your RP into your AA blast into your Sonic Wave. I think if you get that, I think you might be able to kill you might be able to kill one of these cores, maybe I'd say the Pango and possibly even the Ursa. Medusa's a bit more of a difficult proposition, but that's
All in all I'm seeing is just lack of discipline coming out from the Tunisia team. Like, they have really good combinations with their spells, but overall we do lose the Ursa against the Tormi. Oh well. Iggy with a little bit of a
yeah, there we
mistake, I
go.
guess.
Yeah, the sass tips coming out from the team. That's what you
being
do.
a little bit cheeky, gonna be put inside
wow.
the Dire base, but you still have the Rolling Thunder, so who the hell cares? Overall, in comes the Road of Atos. Take out the Rubik first. That is your number one priority. Beautiful plays coming out from Wales. As we have taken our first tier 2 tower down on the mid lane unpunished at all from the enemy side. If you would have had RP here, this would be another fight, another situation. But it's still 5 seconds away and it's still on cooldown. Out goes the Ice Blast onto Neb, who's in a big ass trouble over here. He's going to be shattered as well. As Spartan's the last one standing here, we lose 3-4-2 for the first time. We get a deficit team fight.
Yes, but keep in mind that our Ursa was just, doing his God-given duty of farming and getting his blink, which he has the gold for now. So this now is going to just get a lot worse for Tunisia. Apparently, Ursa has not learned his lesson and wants that smoke with the. Oh no, he doesn't. Looks like I was expecting he was going to go back for a rematch against the Tormentor, but it's
No, come again. This is a bait play right now. We're showing the Ursa on the bottom lane. We will go together back for the Tormi.
Yeah.
If they want to counter us now, they do have the RP, but they don't have the Sonic Wave. Once again, it's as you mentioned, a bit of a timing mishap coming constantly in from Tunisia. Either they have one or the other of the big ultimates, but they're not combining them for the power. To get a little bit better at this. Eamon gets caught out as well. It's just bad positionings all around right now from the Dire.
Yeah, I mean, Pango just feels like he can just do whatever he wants, and I'm not entirely sure I disagree with him.
I really think that, you'd be locked in, counter rolling thunder. Something should happen here, but Tunisia is just, letting you run with the ball. Every bait you put out, Tunisia is not reacting. You have not lost any of your objectives. This is your game to play.
Yeah, it's one of those, without them linking all of their abilities together and getting a massive two-core pick-off, I'm not really sure. Yeah, and even then, they have to then do it and hope that they're close enough to an objective to then be able to go and take them. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure when they're going to be able to start getting some space back on the map. You feel me? It's oh, Ursa was trying to look around and see if he could find find that more. She clearly farmed the camps, but he guessed in the wrong direction, I suppose.
Into Roche Pit we go at 19 minutes. Perfect timing as well. As we get pulled back a little bit, the life itself going to be taken for a ride. Yeah, HT's just walking out. This should be fine.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
right, so it should be fine, but in goes that Ice Blast. It's a little bit scary, as of course they do get Iggy as well. Ned looking for the counter reaction to take out Zanetti as well. Rubik. Going to the focus on the target. Good catch, but in
really good switch to the Ursa.
A little bit of a catch coming out from Kusi, as it's time for his play. It's time to shine. They still have the RP. Tunisia coming in with the counter. Spartan out with the catch as well. The Stone Gaze coming for the counterplay as the Cold Feet does not proc. The Medusa can make the turnaround here. The life itself has
respawned. Are they really about to get this?
A little bit of a catch. They will take out the Magnus, but they got to go back in the pit. You cannot let the Morphling take this one, as one more right click should do the trick. Make it a snake and they won't take it. Spartan.
Really well defended. Roche there from
not
them.
over yet, as a little bit of counterplay. Out comes the Fade Bolt. They are trying to mitigate the damage from the Medusa. The Vortex, it hurts just a little bit, as the Bear's going to be thrown out, but one more right click should do the trick. Out goes the Aegis. I thought Roshan's going to have a better throwing arm, but I guess not. In goes the Blake. Another catch for Iggy.
Yeah, that was the decision for the Medusa there to just posture and go further up and just try and keep them pushed away. It was really crucial there. Even after I think it was where the Morphling, I think he must have just mismanaged his health and his strength and agi balance when he went into the CM ult. Just got clipped by one of the explosions, I guess.
So I believe he got a little bit cocky going in there against the CM, right? Like he wanted to go full agi, a few right clicks, and he would have survived. But right clicks and Mystic Snake in your face against the Medusa, who doesn't really have agility items, right? So like the damage is just 103 or out. Calculating, yeah, it's around 103 for the Medusa, but like overall it's just like stupid that you go into Mystic Snake in general.
Especially with high agi, low strength.
Yeah, I guess he thought that like Spartan would run away after the Cold Feet combination and not stand in the Vortex, but Spartan's a Chad.
Radiant's middle tower.
Generally, I didn't think that the Medusa would have this good of a time from the laning stage all the way out to here, but a few mistakes on their end, and that's what you see in higher level Dota, right? Like, you just gotta punish the enemy for their mistakes.
Yeah, and like I said, as you pointed out, there was moments where she was, and Medusa is a really, really tanky ass hero. Like,
speaking of the Medusa, pull them into the base, but Spartan just doesn't care. The Morphling turnaround coming away from Kusi could be a little bit tricky. Yeah, it's got to be a little bit of an overextension from our part. Giving a chunk of change to the Quap, mind you.
Yeah, considering that I think that was Spartan's first death, so it was a semi-decent streak there going into their hands there. I think we just need to remember that we are still, for the most part, really strongly in the lead. Just take advantage of the fact we got so much map coverage, and just not chuck it up the wall. Basically, essentially, it's
I think Spartan overextended. We'll just stick with that because like Neb is about to get his blink. Of course, Ashdeezy joining in with a little bit of help of Iggy, who goes forward now that he has the basher. These are just these items that you want to wait for at this 25, 27-ish minute mark when you are too strong for your own good. A little bit more over aggression, but you still have 2 minutes on this Aegis.
as the Aegis, yeah, exactly.
They have that recuperation. Ashdeezy goes in as a distraction with the tag team. Neb and Life itself can't really join here. So this could be trouble for our Pooh Bear. Down he goes as well. But the towers get the kill. So overall, a buyback forced is a buyback earned.
I think again, like I get what they're trying to do here. I get that they're trying to get the kind of try to get these sort of debilitating kills and just try and see if they can force a GH out maybe. But again, it only takes a couple of really good wombo combo team fights to turn everything around. So I think I just want to see him keep tightening it up really, rather than going and dying by themselves. But
no, Wills is just having fun right now. Overall, if we look at the graphs,
yeah,
we didn't really lose much gold for that. There's a win probability as well on screen. It's from 87 down to 83, so we lost basically nothing from those 2 deaths up on the top lane. And in the dire base as well. As Spartan makes a catch on Zanetti, but nope. Blinkage out from the Quap. Yeah, almost done with the Octarine core, so
yeah,
this
exactly,
is just a dream.
yeah. And at that point, that's when you pivot back and get the Glipe, I would imagine.
You could transition to that, or you could just run straight at Scotty. That could be a bit of a hindrance for the Morphling as well. Like, relieve the item pressure.
Could go Scotty Ags maybe.
Yeah, just
have
relieve
the split shot modifier.
Just general the item pressure on the Ursa is what's rushing right now onto Iggy. Once again, they force out his Enrage. So yeah, just relieve the pressure from the poor little bear.
Yeah, I mean it's a 30-second cooldown on Enrage, so it's whatever. You know, Ursa's just gonna go back to hitting the jungle for 6,000 years and get the next big item. Be ready for the next big fight. It's, you know, make use of just how quickly you can get through the camps and get all the mad stone from self and then the rest of the team. As you said, Octarine is now finished on the Medusa.
Life itself. How many is that?
Wow.
6? Did I see 6? Hold on. Let me count it again. It is 6. 6 bounty rooms. $76 each.
Echoes.
I'm sorry, pounds. Yeah, we are in Great Britain after all.
Laughs in imperialism.
True.
So, what's the Medusa building next?
No,
not decided as of yet.
Hold on, Neb. It's just ease of execution, as we said. The Pangolier does whatever it wants. Neb is just having the time of his life with the Nullifier being queued up on the Pangolier.
Yeah, I think that's just. I'm pretty sure I've seen some forces, and I think I saw Rubik had a Ghost Scepter, I want to say.
Yes, that is true.
So yeah, just trying to shut that down and just be able to maximize being able to continue the pickoffs. Talking of that, Morphling.
Nah, you just cannot do this. You are trying to go for the butterfly. I do agree with this choice, but overall, you cannot show on a map like this. You do not have tier 2s anymore. You are either farming on your high ground in the safety of the wombo combo, as previously mentioned, or you are moving into the enemy outskirts, but straight frontal laning, forget that. It's just nonsense right there.
Yeah, I think that's... I think I get that the Morphling can be strong and get a lot of damage out, but when you consider just how far ahead Wales are here, it does feel like you're kind of selling them wolf tickets a little bit.
I'm generally falling in love with Spartan. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw this meme hammer over here. Just don't mind me.
I mean,
snake hair lady, like, what you gonna do?
not to be an armchair high MMR player for a moment, but that's probably what I'd be doing, because you were right. What can they do? You're gonna have to deal to kill him. You're gonna have to commit a lot of stuff for it, and at that point, if as long as the rest of the team are close by enough,
Yeah, it's privilege.
that's a window to get some pretty nasty counters.
Yeah, as previously mentioned, he doesn't really care about this combo. Well, let's see how much he doesn't really care about this combo. Out goes the Stone Gaze as well. He's just gonna walk it off. That
And in
Octarine
70
core
seconds,
all this mana, this 500 extra mana is insane. Like, he had like slivers of mana while he walked out, but now he's like walking around with 800. Oh, Mystic Snake me, give me back 300 over here. Give me another 300 from the Ancients. This is just bonkers. Like, he's back to full HP.
Yeah, and in less than 45 seconds, he's going to be able to do that again, and Magnus isn't going to have RP. So they're going to have even...
Correction, they didn't use it.
Actually, no, they do have it. They didn't use it. Okay, so this time it's either going to be you're going to have to do all that again, and you're going to have to force the RP and hope that he didn't already preemptively press the button.
Yeah, this is basically like they're playing sacrificial. They're just playing a bit of a gambit on Spartan. Like, if they can force out the RP and the Sonic Wave on him, then basically the only thing they need to deal with is the Ice Blast, right? And possibly a spell steal. But the fact that the Stone Gaze wasn't stolen by
Neb
Soya
speculatively ulting there.
Just looking around, the Ice Rolling Thunder still coming out from Soya. Could be a problem for us, and we hear the bowling ball coming from the other side. It's casted a little faster, it's rolling a little better, but goes Scepter in, trying to get out, but you get rooted. Gorgon's Grasp, will it be returned in kind? Yes, it will, but it comes Ashley easy with the Snowball. Give him the right hook and take out the supports. Well, I mean, this is kind of...
Oh, is it going to happen again? I think it's not... No, it's fine.
No.
I was thinking...
Not daytime, not this time. Leave me alone.
That would have been hilarious if it had happened 2 Roches in a row, but I'm not that lucky, I guess.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So... Iggy closing on that level 25. Which talent do you think the Ursa's going to take at the 25?
No, I prefer the Earthshock 2 charges, but I usually see the overpower attacks +3. That's what I tend to be viewing by most people, if I'm correct on that.
I mean, considering the Ursa has the Earthshock shard, I would probably take 2 charges. That's
easy kill on the Morphos. And once again, Kusai is just making this mistake of just walking outside. You cannot do this.
I think I just saw Neb commit a magic trick. I think I just saw Neb for Iggy perform a magic trick. I think he just made that Morphling disappear.
Oh, correction, I do see the Earthshock 2 charges most of the time. Yeah, that's what the trends say. At the same time, we do have Eamon taking out Neb. Ashtesian and Spartan. Well, once we were blocked up over here at the 3, we did get the RP Ice Blast treatment on a few of our guys. As you can see, Spartan doesn't really care still about it.
Just you know, casually walking into 3 of them on his Todd. Just, who cares? Life has no meaning.
Our life still has a little bit of stealing meaning. That goes Gorgon's Grasp again. Sitting on 5k gold, I would be like thinking of what do I want on top of this. The Mystic Snake gets stolen, but not combined with any kind of Aghanim Scepter. It doesn't really mean anything. Spartan just walks off the cold feet, turns around once again, just spamming out this W. No split shot at all on this Medusa. I love it.
Yeah, well, you're not interested in that, are you? You're just you're using your spells. You're using your spells and your meme hammer to farm. You really don't need the split shot when you're playing this offlane style, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you just need the mana, and that's why I thought like the Dispel would be a big thing with the GG boots, but of course with the Beyond Dilation, you're not going to build boots instead. Maybe... Nah, you're not going to go for the right click at all. I was thinking of Disperser maybe being a good thing over here. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'd go
just
back for
going
the
and getting that
Scotty.
Hex.
I'd go back for that
Going to
Scotty.
get
Personally,
actually getting
no,
with Hex
he's
instead.
going to Scythe instead. Interesting.
Interesting,
It has been
yeah.
a common. It has been the common thing. Now I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's it's finally replaced that branch that she's just holding on to and has been for the entire game.
You need the
But
stats,
also,
best stats in the game for the value. It's perfect. As the Magnus Courier gets caught out, we finally take out a tier 3 on the mid lane once again. Straight and narrow. Why the hell not? As a throwback play coming out onto Eamon. Ashteezy utilizing that walrus kick to the best of his knowledge. And with the Aegis at hand for a minute and a half, this is just one and done.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
yeah, I mean, in that situation, you just put your body up there and keep trying to get that objective, and just trust that all the spells are going to come out if it looks like they are going to try and set up for you once you res.
Yep, spoke over on the tusks. We are ready for a snowball save or a kickback. Once again, nice shards. Go Scepter. This, my friend, into the snowball. Nice little Yule's dodge coming out. Or a bit of an attempt for it as Zanetti's in the tail rocket. Next, out comes the BKB, but the nullified clock is going to make it out of there, surprisingly enough. But Eamon and, of course, Soya are not going to be so lucky. As the Tunisians are getting wrecked down, they do get a kill onto our CM. And of course, with the Aegis gone, we're just going to move on forward. Why the hell not? Good catch on the Ancient Apparition as another tick on the Nullifier. Neb? Are you sure about this, my friend? I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he thought was going to happen there, but didn't think that ended the way he anticipated, so I'll tell you what.
So we got to die back, and we only played 2 people for it, so
that's
a
soul booster delayed on Neb. Was Neb building an Octarine as well? Just check the items quickly.
Yep.
On
looks like
Pango.
it. Looks like it. As an RP will be used on Spartan, by the way. Skewer attempt coming out, but once again the snowball save being a nuisance. But in goes the 2. Here comes a little bit of help from Iggy. Spartan I don't think he has the Stone Gaze as well. The tower right click is eventually going to take him down as skewered back. Iggy is all alone here. Sonic Wave in his face. This should be a take on the bear as we are getting wiped right here. The Welsh team has been overextending just a little, and a big punishment from Tunisia.
Well, okay. So game isn't completely over. They were able to sort of punish the overextension, get that. That should be Morphlings level 25 almost finished now. I think that's almost, so pretty close to that. I think at that point, what do you take? You take a 25 with Morph. I can't even remember what the options.
Minus 40% cooldown and the 35 strength. I would go for the waveform cooldown for sure. Just to get those extra right clicks. Get onto the back line and... We got a little bit FAFO'd over here for sure.
Yeah, they've goes for the waveform cooldown. I mean, he's got the stats. He's got pretty decent stats anyway, so the strength isn't quite necessary.
You go for the strength one when you're playing the offlane morph. That was the flow type in the previous patch in 737, but
didn't even see that. I never even saw that.
It wasn't as popular, but with the cooldown increases, right? You were a big utility, like tanky as hell kind of offlaner, and you basically picked it into like Beastmasters, or not actually Beastmasters, like Primal Beasts and stuff like that. The approach is basically like I'm tankier than you. And I can use your spells better than you can because I have more strength and stuff like that. That was the general idea of it. But of course, like if you go back way into the old archives of Dota, Universe was the first one that actually played the Morphling on the offlane.
Oh wow, that's a name I've not heard in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while, but he used to play a hell out of the offlane Morphling.
On the topic, never mind. Looks like there's a smoke play coming on to
Oh,
Neb. Then
it goes the
yeah,
RP. Good catch with the Fade Bolt as well. Where was this 20 minutes ago? This is exactly what they should have been doing 20 minutes ago. Tunisia. I think Norn and Coffee just kicked in for them as in goes the Gordon's Grasp as well. Want another catch, this time with the Horn Toss. As they take out 2 for the price of none. We are looking for our last items, by the way, on our side. As it looks like we're going to be finishing the Aghanim's Blessing. And casual MKB is going to start as the first tier 2 on the Radiant side falls. Spartan, what you doing? As the Tunisians going to be silenced, going to be pulled back. Under the tier 3, that goes finally the Stone Gaze, but I don't think you have enough to survive this time. Or maybe you do.
Oh my lord.
In goes the Mystic Snake, a good sustain right now, but another Mystic Snake does not get the chance to be thrown out.
Just there seems to just be a lack of cohesion at the moment. They're just playing really fragmented. I get that maybe they were pushing and waiting, but you know, Dire were already thinking about scanning out the Roche, which wasn't there. So
Fafoed hard, but at the same time we did force out the Ice Blast for free. That's something for sure. Neb's gonna be up in 4 seconds, so not to worry too much just yet. But as you saw previously on the stream, from 92% we went down to 70% win probability according to Lord Gaben's graph. That is a little bit of concern as Roshan respawns.
And they're going to be able to take it pretty easily. I don't think we can stop that. Well, it looks like they're smoking, so it looks like they are thinking about it.
Allude, I'm a little bit worried about this. We go in for the play. We try and steal the Aegis, but it gets stolen from us instead. Zashtizi falls. It will be up to Iggy to hold on here. Life itself in trouble, but the Aeon Disc will protect him for a while now. In comes the Rubik with a little bit of a Fade Bolt cheekiness as life itself is gone. A little bit more of a fight. That will be enough for the Aegis. Iggy got out of trouble, but it's now Neb in the thick of all of this. Ashteezy comes in to help along with Spartan as the morph. We cannot catch the morph.
Yeah, I mean we still force out the Aegis relatively early. We kill the Magnus, so it's still all right. But these things are just things that wouldn't have happened if Spartan wasn't out so far, like out in the woods over towards the bottom tier 3. If he wasn't there, then they don't kill him. They don't have that gap of him not being available to be able to take that pretty much unabated.
Protective ward just basically killed Spartan in the previous fight. But let's focus on this one up on the top lane as Zanetti jumping right next to our little Iggy Spaghetti. But at the very same time, that Eye Blast could be trouble for the Radiant as it's a nice little freeze. We still get the Queen of Pain on time, but at the same time the Magnus could be a little bit of trouble. No kill on the morph once again as Spartan sounds the alarm with the Stone Gaze. It's time to run away as we did lose Iggy and Ashteezy in this fight, but Tunisia will keep up the chase. They go after life itself and Spartan. Neb looking for the turnaround. 10 more seconds until Rolling Thunder. That would be the chaos that we can run away from. But good catches with the Vortex. Roll up play. Do we turn it into Rolling Thunder? Nope, not this time.
I think we would rather. No, he wants to go for it. This is smoke that he apparently wants. Not entirely sure what he thinks he's going to find here, but
we still have a good 3-on-3.
Still has a relatively low cooldown now. So especially now that the level 25 talent is up, the duration is in from 20, and he's got the Octarine, so I suppose it's not a tremendous loss, but
if we were caught some hanging hero farming camps, that would have been nice, but seeing the wards, you basically had all the information. It was a little weird He did commit for it, but at the same time, you're just buying time as much as possible so that Iggy would be back up, and have the opportunity to just finish that Satanic. The more greedier of the builds, of course, you usually go for the BKB instead of that Octarine, but, he wants that lower cooldown, combined with the Aghanim's Blessings, of course. It's overall that massive status resistance you get with the Enrage.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think, considering how much control can come from the Rubik, the AA Blast, if it connects and everything like that, I think I'd rather have the BKB here.
Nah, it's Ice Blast and RP. Both of them go through the BKB, so I absolutely understand his decision. Why you deter from the usual build.
I mean, having the Out's Blessing to be able to pop out if you are caught in the RP, yeah. I fully agree with that. But I think he probably does still need BKB as well.
They are starting to forgo it. You can just forgo it.
They're starting to chunk through him. That I'm not sure what else I can tell you. He is starting to get dropped.
If he wasn't, scoreboard, I'm still feeling confident. They still need this last outer terror up top, so I do agree with the smoke movement, but not properly cutting this wave. You don't have like a Puck or like an Arc Warden that can passively shove this top lane. They're going to run in trouble if they're going to ignore their bottom lane right now, the Tunisians. This is a bad macro choice that they're making right now.
Yeah, it's not the greatest trade if they do decide
they're advertising it as well. They're taking over the outpost.
Oh.
This is a bad choice right now. That bottom lane is all open. If Spartan just walks up, keeps on doing that little cheeky meme hammer gameplay that he's been following through with, and Spartan just finished his
the rest of the team are here now.
Holy hell, this could be good. Okay, here comes the Gambit play from Tunisia. They're gonna try and break in on the middle, but I don't think Wales cares. I don't care. I wouldn't care. Just push on the next
Saying
one.
that, no, it looks like they're just going to go straight for tier 4s, and this is something they do need to care about, because they are going to get through that faster. So, yeah, they do need to get a shit by this now. Sorry.
They'll make the rotation. Spartan comes home, but the tier 3 is still ours. At the same time comes the turnaround. Iggy jumps onto the back line. The waveform. It'll be enough with the BKB. As the Morphling makes it home. A risky play from Tunisia, but once again, the back door is up and live with one range creep. They took out a tier 3, but they put everything on the line, and they cannot play this for the next 74 seconds.
Yeah, I wonder if it would have been better for Tunisia to take the melee racks before then trying to force the dive, but I think they would have lost more of their base if they had have done that. I think that this time as well, Wales are doing the right thing, and that yes, Spartan was up there pushing, but he wasn't doing it alone, and that's been where my sort of big problem with it is sort of lay, is that he has just sort of been pushing on his Tods, and therefore been susceptible to
Nab on the mid lane. Pangolier is just going to be playing a little bit of bowling right now. Meaning that the Dire Heroes are the pins. Eamon is gone for 63. There's a buyback available on the AA. And it will be popped as soon as the RP goes through. Iggy in humongous trouble. But the Bear will try and keep fighting with the Enrage. He just needs to hit something as soon as the Ice Blast is over. But it does not end.
The
same time, the Stone Gaze is going to be turned around on top of its head. But the stolen Stone Gaze against ours is way more effective than what we have in the pool right now. Life itself in trouble as the Magnus finds a good angle. Neb will be pulled into the thick of things. Who do we nullify here? That's the bigger question. But out goes the meme hammer. It's not going to be enough as 3 dead now on our side. Ash Deezy is next. As the creeps are doing the work on the bottom lane, we are running interference on the mid. As once again, Spartan caught. Will we get team wipe right now is the question. As another Mystic Snake, possible, maybe, but even so, the Orchid is not going to be enough damage on the Medusa. I don't think so.
Just unreasonable amount of effective HP with the mana pool of that Medusa there. Just how easy it is to get it back with the Mystic Snake. It just
the Kaya just helps, doesn't it? The Kaya just helps. Amplify everything.
What exactly is this hero that I'm looking at right now? Just wild.
That does remind you of the old Zai build, but yeah, of course that one did have a little bit of a change. That had the old Conda or the pre Conda, right? We didn't have Conda just yet. We had Phylactery though, and yeah.
Now we've got it out now. We've got the finished. Look at the size of the AOE with the Gleipnir. It's just wild.
Yeah, well, spell amplification there. There it goes, right? That's what Conda gives you. I do kind of miss the Conda builds, though. I know every hero and their cousin used to build it, and it was really annoying, just like the Wraith Pact back in the day. But I missed the, like the Conda Luna Blaze.
I miss Wraith Pact in my pubs.
How dare you?
Because
how dare you?
We knew it was good, and people we were playing against didn't.
It was so freaking broken. It was just so dumb. Like TI 11 was just bonkers. That's all you saw. Like Wraith Pact on Wraith Pact on Wraith Pact on Wraith Pact. That was a rough TI to cast, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a rough one to watch, but playing, people, yeah, it was some free MMR for me back then.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I built it on position 5s and position 4s, that's for sure. Position 3s were super happy, like, finally, I don't need to build it. And I'm like, it'll be done by minute 30. Minute 30?! But once you had it, it was Bonkers OP. Well, let's see what Bonkers OP is going to be from Tunisia. They're going to try and do the triangle sitting, as they will take out life itself. They're going to try and make an attempt on Ashtezi as Iggy tries to break the life of the supports right now on that back play, but he's just being kited on the bear. In goes 2 right clicks from Kusai is all they need. 100 seconds without the bear as the buyback of the Magnus comes through. They're gonna try and risk it here on Tunisia. They'll dead control on Neb as Spartan tries to get the kills now. Triple kill on the Morph as Kusai is gonna keep on pushing it. Another Stone Gaze going through as Eamon needs to be on the run. Buyback from the Tusk. Ashtezi here to help, or more likely, here comes Neb and Ashtezi to help. Can they get this Morph? In goes the Nullifier. Kick him back, or kick him over, but the Ice Blast will freeze us as Eamon comes back for revenge. It's only a 4v1 now from Spartan.
If they know.
But with no refresher orb, this could be rough. We do have one more fortification. 14 seconds for life itself. Can you at least get the Quab? Zanetti jumps out as the last tier 4 is gonna get the backdoor treatment. But you cannot disarm the Morph. You can try and hex him down, but which one is it? Good choice. But at the same time, with a little bit of help and the invading creeps, Tunisia will look for the end. The fortification, they're holding on for the very last seconds, but there's no buybacks available at all. Life itself is gone. Spartan, it's all or nothing on him. But with the Ancient exposed, GG is going to be called, and Wales will lose game number 1. Oh well, I'm surprised. We had this in the bag, and I guess we got a little bit fafoed, right?
Yeah, no, there was several moments where we just got really fragmented. We were, pushing objectives. The Medusa was maybe feeling himself a little bit too much from being able to push the, push the tier 3s seemingly unabated, and then just, I think he underestimated just how much damage they would have had towards the end. He just didn't seem to be able to get past all of the control that they had, essentially. And things, lots of little things from what I can see. And again, I'm not a high caliber player, but things like the Ursa seems to be popping the Enrage really early, pretty early. In some cases, seemingly before any CC actually really went on him. I would have liked to have seen him holding it for things like getting caught by RPs and things of that nature, because if you have the Ag's Blessing, that's the reason you have it. Like, what are we doing? little moments like, and it went both ways. At one point, Neb on the Pango went to try and kill the, and solo the Morphling, and it ended disastrously, and then seemingly went almost the other way around later. I think it just got maybe a bit luckier with the lucky shot procs.
Nah, getting on this high ground was just abysmally hard, especially with that wombo combo of the Magnus and the Ancient Apparition. Like, overall, you can see their kill participation is extremely high. And we just gave Kusai way too much time. Even though we managed to farm him 2 times outside his base, a little bit of mistake on the Morphling's end, and Zanetti dying 4 times is extremely high for carries in general. But overall, Tunisia just found the wombo combos, found a little bit more control, and just
I said, the things that were causing them problems early doors is when they were committing some of their spells to maybe try and save their own lives, and not actually, even if they'd have lived, they weren't going to get anything out of it. And you died and gave someone a couple of hundred gold. At that point, it's better
actually at that point.
Well,
right?
in the case, when the fight I'm referring to, early doors, or when Magnus pumped his RP and then died almost immediately. Him dying, if he just let himself die, they gave us 200-300 golds. Who cares? Who actually cares? Having the fight, having everything ready to be able to do that, and if they'd have had that, then the situation where Tunisia were able to turn it around might have actually came a little bit sooner. Just as soon as they were able to start coordinating their wombo combo, then like I said, that was sort of where it all started to go a bit Pete Tong for us there, which it's rough to lose that way, but the best thing that the boys can do is focus on the positives of sort of how they played sort of early doors, focus on sort of how their laning phase went, and just maybe have a look at they're at their best when they're a lot more coordinated, and not just necessarily just playing their own game, which is it's easy to do, especially when you are a higher, from my observations of playing with higher MMR players, it's so easy for you to just be like, well, I'm used to playing a game at this sort of where it's this caliber, so it ends up becoming, you end up almost treating it like it's just a normal pub, forgetting that no, there is that level of teamwork, that you are working with a team of people you play with regularly. You should sort of be looking to coordinate as much as possible, and it looks like Tunisia just sort of pulled their socks up a little bit, and it just looks like from how far ahead we were, I think we just took our foot off the gas a little bit, and at that stage it's yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just a friendly match, so it's not the end of the day.
And of course, the important thing for this is to take the learning from it. So that's us. That's us done here. It's been a pleasure. It'll be us tomorrow. But for the time being, we're going to send this over to a quick break, and when this channel's back, it should be the CS friendly. It should be the CS friendly, which I believe is going to be against Ireland. Exactly, against Ireland. So yeah, that should be fun. So if you're a CS enjoyer, stick around for that, and we'll see you for the Dota tomorrow.
Bye.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the IESF Esports Wales channel that we are very run through. Myself, Matt Dante, and joining me, bit of a special guest, actually, not the usual Welsh lad. Did have to, very no, in a good way, Hang on, whoa, not in that way at all. No. It is Blazy. It is Blazy Vard. How are you, my man? It is an absolute pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, it's no, I was more surprised at the accolade. I feel very pumped. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, I'm super excited to have a look at what this Welsh team and the Irish team that they're going up against are going to pull out. We've already seen the first game behind the scenes though here, Dante.
Yes, we have indeed. So actually, just very quickly, because it is friendlies and things like that, so it's 3 best of 1s rather than 1 best of 3, which has tripped up a few people. So I think we'll be jumping to, I'm not actually sure who the next team are, but as you said, Bard, the Welsh team went against Ireland. I was going to say we, but I realised that commentating for the Welsh team while being Irish is not going to clarify at all what I mean when I say we.
Conflict of interest.
I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top. But yeah, so the Welsh team had a bit of a struggle on Nuke, I think is the polite way to say it.
Yeah, so, sorry, just to confirm, it is 3 games, Wales versus Ireland. So we are...
Oh, is it?
Seeing...
I'm like, sorry, I'm a fool then.
No, so what we're seeing is a set of friendly matches. Basically, the teams have decided we're going to do a 3-game set. We don't really mind who wins which games. We just want to make sure that we play it out, get all the experience in. Think of this more as a televised scrimmage, right? These two teams, they want to play together. They want to, see what they got, see what they can bring to the stage. We've already hit the requirements to make it to the world stage. So this is just that extra little bit of practice, and practice in front of a camera as well, because online, offline, playing in front of a crowd is playing in front of a crowd.
Yeah, no, the anyone that has not had experience playing in front of basically anyone watching them, it's the adage of whenever you have a tech issue, like your computer's kind of busted, and you bring over someone that's far more experienced than you, and then you show them and you go, here is my busted piece of electronics, and they look at it and they go, it's completely fine, and you have to say, it wasn't like that whenever I tried to get you. Like, imagine that, but for like every type of thing that you do. Every Counter-Strike swing that you make has that additional, no, it wasn't like that a minute ago. I swear I could hit that. I swear, that shot was simple for me, but with that extra little, there's someone maybe extra watching, there's someone, it can definitely play. Not even if you're on a LAN, just if you're on a stream of anything. So as Bard, you said, it's very good to get the players as used to that dynamic as early as you can.
Yeah, you got your army of armchair global elites going, I'd hit that shot, why am I on this team? Why did he throw that smoke there? So yeah, you gotta get used to the energy of playing for an audience. I think
they will make you used to their energy, whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah. You turn off the comments. Listen, there's no use in talking to those people. Have you seen chat? They're ravenous. They're absolutely rabid.
You throw them, you give them an inch, they will absolutely take a mile. Now, speaking of rabid, ladies and gentlemen, we are already fully underway. Pistol round. So Ireland have their first map. That was on Nuke. Very solid. It was 13-3. The Welsh team just didn't really have it in them. The utility wasn't great. There were some kind of, good shots being taken here or there, but for the most part, just completely outmatched and outgunned. So now we'll have to see how they get on Ancient here. A bit more of a kind of clustered up map, a bit more very much proactive, heavily, kind of take the site and go. Nuke is very much, there's a lot of options for rotates, and Artist is going to be rotating into the next round after that beautiful shot from Rizzy.
Yeah, Wales really able to start us off. Nicely hit, 2 kills for them so far. This coming off the back of a much different story that we just watched behind the scenes on Nuke earlier on. 13-3 was the slash line we saw there in favor of Ireland. Hold on a second, Jackmon and Tree. Able to find 2, but Ollie's going to put that one down.
At the very least, the bomb is still ticking away, which is, to be honest, already a pretty solid improvement for the Welsh team on this map than on Nuke. It just doesn't really seem to be their comfort map. I think we've had, when I say we've, it's just because obviously we are on the Welsh channel here, but I want to say it's like 80% loss rate, maybe more on Nuke. It just doesn't seem to be the team's map at all. Ancient, though, and Anubis, funnily enough, which I imagine will be our third map getting into it. The teams are playing all 3 maps, regardless of if Ireland do win this one as well. So while it is, officially more kind of a best of 3, just in terms of, saying it's a best of 3, it's more just a first of 3 as long as all the maps are being played out.
Ireland now with a bit of a shaky pickup here on the economy. 3 SMGs deciding to go for this kind of hybrid, weird, not quite a force buy. Some people still on pistols, so really banking on making this second round a success. Charging straight through onto the B site, though, the T side. Claim that one, and a quick plant is going to be very important for Wales as Ireland have to respond.
Ireland indeed do, but they've got a member just kind of lurking in their smoke. They're kind of jumping in and out behind Justinho and Ping, playing off the util beautifully, and the frags are absolutely there. It's just left to extinct, and Co left now. One member, the run and gun, but just Ollie is on fire. That's more what you want to see from the Welsh team. No concern, no hesitation, just quick, effective, get on site, get the plant down, be ready for the retake.
Being able to face down an SMG with a pistol. This was style points, right? Ollie really took the advice of, remember, switching to your sidearm is faster than reloading. Took that literally, was able to pull it off with style to claim that second point for Wales. We were saying before, one round is a fluke. The second one's where we start to see the rubber hit the road, so to speak, in Wales. Off to a blazing start, pushing through the smoke. Rizzy could meet with some resistance. He's just walked past a player and killed his friend in the back!
Is W key, the flashbang as well. The play was absolutely phenomenal there. Rizzy getting backed up, should not have been able to get that far, but doesn't matter. That is the setup that we've seen. That was completely absent from Nuke. There were no setups like that. There was no utility like that. No positional kind of awareness and push off of the control, which, night and day, honestly, it has to be said. And now, you're not really going to get much away with Artis Justinho playing that angle, playing that position and that distance absolutely beautifully. This is a different team, I think is the only thing you got to say.
I think one of the things that we were talking about I'm going to stop talking about backstage because the audience weren't there. I don't want to make them feel left out. But the last
cool.
point I will bring up.
And there were loads of people. It was great. You should have been there.
Yeah, you should have seen it. The guest list was massive. We were obviously invited first.
Yep.
But to clue in the audience to this last piece of information, we were saying Nuke being this very fast-paced, condensed map really played into Ireland's style. They love playing fast. They love playing aggressive. I said we need to slow this down, see how Wales react on a slower map where they can take their time to get onto these sites. And we're already seeing some fast approaches like last round. This time around, taking it a little slower, taking off the defender on a site and slapping that bomb straight down.
No concerns at all. Yeah, this slower, this patience, and oh my days, speaking of, but it actually seems to be Ireland that's maybe out-patience to the patience. Rizzy does pick up Jackmon on that rotate, but Artist and Unicorn are able to pick up their one each. Despite I nearly said it. The bomb already taken down, probably close to quite about half now. Yeah, you can hear that ticking. You can hear the arrows going. You can look at the map and see them. They are not happy to take this fight. They understand the gun advantage is not for them. They understand the man advantage isn't for them. They understand that even really the health advantage isn't for them. So they're happy to see if an M4 and an AK-47 is solid, but I mean, literally, the teams have swapped halves, both literally in terms of map, but also just in performance, because the Welsh team are just demons right now.
One of the things that's been said about Counter-Strike since the dawn of the game is that it is maybe one of the most momentum-based sports in our corner of the industry. And I think this really speaks volumes to what we're seeing right here, is we see a team coming off the back of... let's not put it gingerly, an embarrassing defeat. 13-3 is not a slash line you want to be looking at. This time around, something's happened behind the scenes. They've gone, all right, boys, let's get our head in this. They've come back in, calm, relaxed. They picked up their first round, and that is now snowballing. We have to see now how Ireland react to this and set themselves up to continue to push back.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, we can already see them, the buys aren't looking phenomenal, already. You're not really able to get it fully consistently at the moment, and because of that, you can see Ireland almost beginning to panic. They're trying to force these, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a tech pause here just well, because that feed was getting there, but... Oh, I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say speaking of feed and then try and talk about Ireland's performance, but I was like, that seems toxic. You know, big love to the guys back at the island, of course. And one of you, don't kill me next time I come home, please.
You know, Dante, we threw back to cams so quickly. I've got to turn on my light, and as soon as I turn on my light, of course, that's what was fixing it. I need to keep my light on to keep the stream healthy. I always am a firm believer of BMing players when they deserve it, and this time around, I think. So far, they are looking like they deserve it, though they're hoping to prove you wrong. Ireland answering back now. Wales, 1 defender left on the pitch, 1 minute left in the map. We'll have to see if they're able to... Yeah, Extinct just pushes that through, clearly gets some info from the rest of his team. Rizzy takes a spill, and finally, Ireland put themselves on the board.
Yeah, I mean, one round, you really, like, you needed that a bit sooner, but at the very least it has started now. The bleeding is going to be a little bit, kind of dealt with. Speaking of bleeding, hey, and there's the light back on this time. Flash, ladies and gentlemen, we have been flat. Yeah, seriously, pay your electricity bills and your server bills, Valve. But you know what? It's been a really solid start, and this is really nice to see, because whenever you see a nuke game, you know, obviously, you know, the lovely people at home didn't get to see it, but when you see such a controlling first map, you kind of get concerned, because it suddenly is, okay, you've got 2 more maps to go. You know, even as a viewer, you've kind of go, okay, what's going to change? As a player, it's far worse. As a player, you know, you still have to get through 2 maps with that momentum shifted and a Bard, as you said. You know, the momentum very much is shifting for the Welsh team's favour, and they are running with it.
I think there is something as well here, Dante, to be said about the nature of the maps that we're seeing. Right? We are, in technicality, we are not seeing a best of 3. We're seeing 3 games of friendly competition. I would normally 100% be on you here. Be like, yep, 100%. That momentum from map to map, you know, the amped up pressure really going to get to people. I think that conversation changes when you get, okay, last game doesn't matter, next game doesn't matter, just this game. And you kind of isolate that thought, that feeling into, I don't have to worry about anything else other than what's going on right in front of me.
Yeah, and to be honest, I do fully agree with that outlook as well. The reason I go for more that mindset is still at least somewhat relevant is due to the fact that you, of course, then you've got your VOD reviews. So any teams that start taking this seriously and things you've got, that's where I'm kind of going, because don't get me wrong, as you said, you know, the environment is different, but what you don't want to get is kind of convincing yourself the environment's different and then playing differently off of that. At the end of the day, you want to simulate this as close to how you would play at the tournaments without, obviously, if you've got any cheeky shenanigans or, like, you know, play setup, you know, you keep those hidden in the, you know, those are under lock and key until they're needed. But the other stuff, you want to say, okay, this is exactly how we would play if we were in the IESF. Speaking of, looks like we're getting back into it for the friendlies. And if we were doing the VOD review, here we go. And the Irish team, just to build off of it, seemingly we're not able to build that on that momentum.
No, 6th point here added on to Wales. I've kept the light on. Hopefully things will stay stable this time around. We'll have to see if Ireland can build their way back in. They're choosing to get aggressive this time, rushing it down. I'm not sure if you're struggling already, you're on a low build. I'm not sure that trying to rush it down is really the move. They lose 2 players for it. They do damage 2 members of the Welsh side. But this is not a good position to be in with only a Deagle, a 5-7, and a CZ.
Yeah, absolutely right. And this is a problem, you know, like, it can work if the Welsh team weren't expecting it. Unfortunately, they just were. They were all stacked up towards B, fully ready. And it also doesn't really work if you're stuck in these positions kind of afterwards. You know, yeah, you've got these close angles.
What?
What?
What just happened?
Shush me, I guess. Sorry, I was speaking about a different game. I was speaking about Parallel Universe, where Wales won that. What?
I think...
What?
So, what happened there is the CZ met 3 people running around a corner, and did exactly what it was designed to do. Absolutely insane gameplay for Ireland. And you know what? More than anything, that's gotta be a mental boom for Wales, losing that round in that position, and already we're seeing the trickle effects. Unicorn puts the first blood in the game.
Oh, my days. Unicorn plus Extinct equals a hell of a duo that you've got to worry about. And 360 doesn't need a second player to back him up. He's happy to live on that scoreboard. That kill feed all on his own. Rizzy follows up Extinct. Just beautiful shooting. And now... oh, it's down to just Ollie, as it oh so often tends to be. The swing comes through. Unicorn doesn't need the backup of his team. Happy just to take that frag. No. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. 3 defuse kits. I'm lying to you. I'm just lying. I'm just straight spreading misinformation over the internet. But yeah, with the defuse kits in hand, suddenly the Irish team are back swinging. And one last point. If you are looking at that, you know, Bard, me and you were discussing kind of the VOD review. I'm pretty sure it's just that, like, for an hour.
We just look at that one round. Yep. Somebody wake Grandpa. It's finally happening. Ireland are in the game. They finally connected. They're sat in their seats. We're in for a match now that this has happened. Wales maybe got a little complacent there. Look at their bank accounts. Not looking too healthy. And Unicorn already stripping a player off. Tree's going to join him. Finally some answers back. And Zix is able to find 2 for himself. It's a 3-for-2 trade. We might see Zerx alone by himself, rather than Ollie this time, who's sitting on 7 HP. As we have taken control of mid so far. Ireland, they're in a pretty good spot. Zerx has to peek this corner. He's going to find someone, but that Unicorn is on a roll.
I mean, yeah, there really hasn't been much in the way of it. You've just been seeing Unicorn do everything Extinct, usually off the back of it, but this time it will be Ping, very fittingly. Just pings the head off Extinct, and now with only 2 members for the Irish squad, only 19 HP for Ping, though. This could go either way. The gunshots aren't quite there. Artist with a little bit of the reposition in there. Not quite a full running gun, but just enough to offset the aim will bring Ping down. And just as quickly as we were, I believe it was 1-5, we are now 4-6.
You know, at the very least here, Wales, they get the bomb down. That's an extra 400, if memory serves me correctly, on the board for them to save up this time around. It looks like they're not going to go too hard. Maybe I spoke to a little bit too soon. Some utility brought up, some pistols, but Wales generally looking for a lower econ round this time around.
I believe we are, Bard, I believe we are just fully caster cursing. After I said that round was very much, you know, in Wales' favour, I believe just the caster curse is now full on. You asked me if I was superstitious about 3 9s. I'm superstitious about saying one thing and having it go the other out of spite. Oh my days, Zyrex was a beautiful 180, but meanwhile the rest of the frags basically all going the way of the Irish squad. The Welsh team kind of looking and going, you know how it didn't work out for you guys to rush it down mid? We're going to rush it down mid, and expecting different results.
You know, you say a beautiful turnaround from Zerx. I'm saying Ireland dropped that kill and cost themselves a gun, because there's no reasonable way in that kind of crossfire Zerx should have lived at the amount that he did. Did get the pickup though, and any kill on an eco round is worth something. They're able to pick up that, and now look at the money across the board. We got a full buy over here on the T side. Ireland, though, their econ is looking super strong. Strong enough, in fact, that we are seeing the operator coming on. It's not the operator. Get out of the Valorant brain. The AWP is, is in the hands of Team Ireland.
Okay, so I broke first in your... Well, I said bomb, and then you said off, so as the operator...
It's
so
the same game. It's the same game.
Let's face it, it is, but...
We're basically playing on Lotus right now.
Oh dear, no, do not start doing Lotus calls on this. We will absolutely get ourselves shredded. And speaking of shredding, Artist has just no concern for the well-being of the Welsh team. Jessadinho and Binger trying his best, but it's Jackmon just to walk in. And again, as quickly as it was, 5-1, it is now 6-6. Ireland off of that one CZ75. The hand of God. Not since the time of Diego Maradona has an object been blessed by a I would say benevolent god as quickly as that CZ75 was, and Ireland were happy to take the momentum and run with it.
And now we see it all over again, flat even. And this is the point in the game where things start to get hard, because we are, for all intents and purposes, 0-0. It's first to 6 rounds. We've swapped sides, and we'll talk again about momentum. Rizzy claims first kill here. Unicorn able to get that one back, and it's going to be Zerx to answer it. Still playing aggressive. Our Team Ireland, Team Wales, sorry. And it's paying off for them so far. One attacker left. Extinct. The rest of his team sure is.
Absolutely, and he may be joining them in a second. He is pretending to be a direwolf to see if he can be resurrected by all those headlines, but no, it'll be Ping just to take the shot. And yes, for the moment, just while we do it, I think we have got it now. Yes, the Irish team and the Welsh team have now swapped. Oh no, they haven't swapped accordingly just yet. So flip them for your side. Welsh are on the 6 side. There we go, perfect. We see it now. Welsh have actually made it 7 on that, and Irish with the 6th. So with that, we see what was actually very different from our first set of 2 rounds. We've seen the 4 spies kind of come through from both teams. This time, Ireland looking very sort of, patient with it. We see the Tech 9s and things. We see one set of a utility come through, but everyone else just off those Tech 9s.
It's a slower game from Ireland here. They don't have as many guns, but Unicorn's making it work anyway. 1 headshot for Zix. Beautiful tap. It's going to be the rest of his team to try and respond as both sides coalesce around the A site. Bomb goes down, and it's going to be Ping starting off the party. Tring falls, and with a missed magazine, Rizzy has to switch it up. The rest of his team able to come in clutch and help out their friend. Jesse finds one. Jack is going to answer one back. Artist finds one for himself as well, and I'm going to stop reading the leaderboard and just show you what's on the board right here. Artist in some smoke, in a lot of trouble. Knife comes through. It's an agreed upon gentleman's duel, but unfortunately Rizzy brought the wrong weapon to the knife fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite game of CS2 I have ever watched. I can't tell what's going on. I have no clue how we get to these situations, and it's literally my job to be able to tell you how we got into these situations, I might add. And yet this has been just a complete cluster of shenanigans and silliness sprinkled in with some really phenomenal CS2, and then the rest of it's just kind of bonkers. We see now this really fast push up. Look at the util coming through, the HE need and everything to try and gather as much space for Extinct. Rizzy just hiding in that corner. Meanwhile, the mid fight that we've seen oh so commonly is happening. Rizzy, the timing is perfect. The spray control backed up by Zerx is absolutely filthy. Someone else trying to take it. It's Jackman trying to take the position. He will equally follow his teammate down into the afterlife, and the Welsh team have done a phenomenal hold. They have let the bomb get planted, but with this positioning now and this retake, it's all for them to lose.
Just beautiful, beautiful gunplay there from Zerx. Unicorn has to try and fight this back. The bomb is down, and that does act as an extra man. Wales, they have 3, but they've got to continue to get aggressive. Unicorn, ripping heads off bodies, finds a 3rd, a 4th, in fact, and claims the round back for Team Ireland.
I mean, people have often argued cryptid, mythical animal, whatever you can say, Unicorn is on a tear, and there is nothing imaginary about this beast. A phenomenal anchor to Ireland's already phenomenal plays, but it does always seem to be you've got Unicorn kind of there. Just off the background, the util has been nothing short of excellent, flawless even. The mollies have been there when he's needed them, the flashbangs have been there too, and you can't really get 6 rounds on the back-to-back if you're not getting that star player who you're playing off of to just really fully commit these angles and these pushes to. I mean, as you see, we've got the Welsh squad having now fully rotate to the from the A site onto the mid, and 360 is going to just keep spraying until eventually the members of Wales stop coming through.
Every kill on a pistol round is a successful mission, if you ask me. But look at this positioning. An AK in hand, but Jackmon is not going to let the rest of his team fall for the bait. Rizzy, however, answers back with a beautiful deagle shot through the wall. And you're to blame. In fact, you give Deegs a bad name.
Oh my god, bars. Shoutouts.
That was a weird link. That was maybe the worst link I've ever given. I don't even know what that really meant, but there you go.
I followed. I'm just worried if I have to immediately look at my camera and do like the cutting of the neck thing, because are we going to get copyright struck by Bon Jovi? Should they be interested in kind of tier 3, tier 4 CS2 esports, it will have to be said. But right now, what is very interesting is, again, this full mid kind of push. Now, the fight essentially all the way through on Donut, the spray from just Ollie. It's just a frag. It's just no further difficulties. The bomb trying to go down again. This time Extinct able to dodge the fire, and with a 4 versus 5 retake, probably the wackiest and the most carnage-induced retake we're going to see so far from this set.
It's going to be a meat blender. Smokes are on the board at the moment, but as soon as these go down, expect to see fireworks fly. Especially look at this angle. Jess and Unicorn practically looking directly at one another. We're about to go down in a second here, but this bomb is ticking down faster and faster. Zix and Ping are able to clear up too, but Artist answers back! Clears those defenders off the board! Finally, the terrorists are away, but do we have the time to take off this bomb? We do! Wales! They're not going to let momentum get away from them this time around. The second half of this match is set to be a lot more competitive than the black and white at the start.
Absolutely. And while, to be fair, it was not a high... Nuke definitely did not set a high bar. Both teams working together at the very least to show, okay, no, we can make this an interesting game. We can make this a good set, one that you can absolutely learn from. And so far, especially this, you know, in comparison to Nuke, it's good seeing life for the Welsh team. It's good seeing that backup. The full commit towards mid, half of the util already expelled. We're more than used to seeing this. Meanwhile, it's 3 members of the CT side of Ping, Just Ollie, of the Welsh team trying their best to keep up that mid control, but they have actually, because of it, given away B. And if you've got a member like Unicorn who will punish such over-aggression, such over-eagerness, yeah, you're going to have to walk away with the consequences.
We often talk about cavalry being the backup, but this time the cavalry is all in the front line. Unicorn finally shut down after claiming 3 souls for his arsenal. Now Ireland very much in a strong position here. Wales, 2 members and a bomb to defuse. 3 left standing on the Irish side. And with this angle, with this position, with the amount of time they have remaining, Wales are going to choose to try and save out here. Quick jump peek might have revealed Tree's position, but it's not even going to matter. Oh, you have rifles? Tech 9.
Tech 9 at range with bullet penetration apparently is just enough. And I mean, to be fair, again, you have guns. Here's a CZ. It has 75 rounds. That's not in terms of, like, you know, the make or like the mark or the number or anything. That is purely how many frags I will get by holding down mouse 1 is what that means apparently to the Irish squad. A phenomenal setup from them. And yeah, it turns out as well, it is very difficult to defuse the bomb from comms whenever you're colorblind. Cut the green wire doesn't help when they're all green.
That's a very good point. Now Wales, look at this stack here. They have less economy. They want to make sure that they're fighting together, but they're going to come up against Artist. They have spotted the bomb out, though. Does have it, but they might not be aware of the 2 players flanking around their side. A sight wide open. Tree gets that 1 kill. Second one claimed for the Arbolivus man. And Artist back to the CZ. We don't even need the orb. It's just carnage. It's just corner. It's just carnage.
Yeah, it's very back and forth and a bit, you know, kind of... What's the term I'm looking for? Scrappy is the term. I've been trying to think of that word for the past, like, 10 rounds. That is exactly how you describe this. It's very fast, it's very energetic, it's very chaotic. What I am liking is that we are still seeing, of course, you know, like the util setup from Ireland, which we are used to kind of seeing, you know, a phenomenally kind of stacked team coming through. The Welsh squad very much more comfortable to do it than they were on Nuke, but to be fair, comfortable to get the util and comfortable to hold the angle. Ping refusing to let this go without a bit of a fight. Rizzy backing up as well. Meanwhile, Artist ready for the lurk. Just Ollie is gonna go down. Jestinho, that smoke is not going to save you in any capacity. He is the Artist. You are the canvas, and his brush is the op. That is 3 for Artist in this what would be 1 versus 5 ace clutch, but with that bomb down towards B, both members basically staring at it. There is all to climb up this hill, and that boulder, Sisyphus, is rolling down towards you.
Got the operator. A minute left on the clock. 2 players to find. And a bomb to plant. He's going to have to take this angle aggressively. Has the CZ in his pocket. Going to keep with the long gun, but it's not going to be the right angle. Artist has such a phenomenal 3-man pickup. Not quite able to translate it. A tough nut to crack with just an AWP. Does very, very well. is able to bring it through into the next round, though. Ireland steal that gun away, give it back to, well, Artist. And he has been, you know, solidly using this. Meanwhile, Ping claiming the long gun for himself on the other team. Wales, like you said, they're not going to let this go without a fight.
And we don't want them to. I mean, again, you know, as we've mentioned before, time and time again, the longer the matches, the more interest in the actual, you know, the more things the teams learn as well. You know, at the end of the day, Wales very much can look at the nuke fight. And speaking of the nuke fight, 360 playing off the flash, only good for one though. Zerg's positioning very solid here, trying to make sure there's no over-aggression. But if you do see, there was the initial push up there. I want to say that was from Ollie, but now immediate push back towards B, and the pace suddenly getting very, very slow in here. I think the light may have been turned off again. We are back. Never mind, ladies and gentlemen. As Extinct
I've not turned off my light.
Oh no, and both Extinct and Unicorn. Very fitting to go in that order, but the bomb now down for the Welsh squad, and I think very difficult for Ireland to get away with anything further.
They've got to play this just as scrappy, just as aggressive as they have been before. The bomb is squarely in the paws of Artist, who's looking to get a little bit more ground here on the B side. Look at this, scraping the angle. Ping finds the head, and now it's 1v4. Surely Artist wants to play a little bit of time. Spots out the gun, Rizzy around the corner. Nothing else to do.
I was just really concerned Rizzy was going to get away with that angle again. I was like, no, you can't. And I do want to talk about very quickly, now that we are getting a bit of downtime here, you know, it's only going to be 10 seconds or so, and then mid's going to explode again. But if you look at the kind of kill feed and the distribution between, you see Wales 19-10, 15-10, 17. It's quite, like, evenly split. Meanwhile, you've got kind of three very much top performers at Ireland, you know, and I think we've basically been pointing their names out in the kill feed the whole time. There's no need for me to kind of repeat them any further or any more. And then it kind of goes through. So it does get to show you kind of, you know, if you've got one or two members of your team that are doing phenomenal things, and to be honest, actually, both teams are having someone that they can look to right now, as the absolute atrocities being committed on mid are going to finally end with the bomb going down, with the player advantage towards Ireland, and with not very much to look for. Extinct gets one, and with only one member, again, a lot to do. Does get the angle, shoots too fast, and Ping now with the long gun is able to get one, but has to do two more.
Never count Ireland out of a pistol round. There's an AWPer on site. It's going to be Ping. And Wally finds two. Jack seals the deal, putting Ireland to match point. And to revisit that, well, to revisit your points, it's a beautiful stylistic difference. Extinct this time around, I think, hasn't been finding the kills, but we have seen Ireland really coming through with the utility, with the general cohesion that's really made this a solid performance from them. Wales, we've already talked about it, we've already touched on it, really rely on that gunplay to get them ahead. Rizzy, in fact, starting this match off exactly that way.
I mean, yeah, there's not much I can say off of that, Barge. You have absolutely just got it in one. And now we see actually quite an unconventional setup. We see the fast push for the Irish squad towards Donut. Meanwhile, though, we see a three-man push out from the flank, and Ping, Jess Dino as well, has absolutely made it work. In fact, they have just as easily cleaned up the Irish squad. What was looking pretty solid that Ireland would be able to put this into a 2-0 now may very well be going into an overtime. And if it does, the Welsh squad have very much, you know, that 3-13 on nuke loss was very much a, we've warmed up the keyboards, we've warmed up our hands. You know, in the UK, no one ever knows what the weather is like. We don't know if we should have our heating on or if we should have 5 hoodies. It's very mix and match. So everyone seems to have now gotten their bearings, understood what's needed from them, and we've gotten a much closer set because of it.
Beautifully played from both of these teams so far. And yet again, some people in chat might be seeing Ireland with four pistols and going, well, we're going to overtime. I'm seeing Ireland with 4 pistols and going, maybe they just win. If I'm honest with you, just run.
All you can do is run.
All you can do is run. That's exactly right, Ollie. Finds 3. Extinct gets a kill with that deagle, and that's exactly what I'm talking about.
all you can do is run. Artist, though, finds Ping through the smoke, but it's going to be Ping that actually gets him first with that CZ. All of a sudden, I expect the buy rates of the CZ to go up massively thanks to this one set. It has been a filthily productive and a filthily effective gun. And now Unicorn has to try and do it again with the Deagle. Does do it, just Ollie. Just out of time, just out of this round. The bomb's still ticking down, not too much time left.
But everyone's looking the other way. Nobody's checking the flank. Zix is able to make it around, but Extinct sniffs out the resistance and is able to turn it and claim that one. And alongside, it's the match point. I mean, I already called it. Never count Ireland out of a pistol round. And even though they started dramatically disadvantaged in terms of their economy, they pulled it off.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they
again,
did.
ladies and gentlemen, we had a 5-1. We had the most ridiculous pistol round that you have technically never seen, because unfortunately just it turns out you're not really expected to be looking at anyone whenever a CZ gets like a 5k. We then had a technical pause that lasted all of 2 minutes, where the Welsh team continued, yes, that was very nice momentum, we'd like it back. Dibs. They won like 4 rounds in a row, and then the side swapped, and all of a sudden Ireland went, this is our home, this will be where your graves lie. And then we had probably the best set of CS that we have had tonight so far.
Well,
awesome.
yeah, I think so. It was a beautifully played game from both teams. What more could you ask for, right? There was this beautiful back and forth. I think every single player got stuck in some way, shape, or form. Although we have to talk about Unicorn, we have to talk about Artist really putting their names on this game for me, personally.
I would say so as well. To give some credit as well, we'd seen Ollie popping out a lot. Anytime there was kind of the big plays or things that were happening from the Welsh team, it did seem to come under Ollie. Or Jessidinho, in fact, was usually very solid at backing him up. So, good call-outs there, but yeah, I mean, as I said, I think for anyone that was looking at the scoreboard and such for that, it was very much, there were 3 MVPs of Team Ireland, and I'm sure they will already get quite enough love without us giving them some more. So I think while we just actually get that last map sorted out and set up, just good to go. We will just cut to a break, should only hopefully be about 3 or 5 minutes or so, get the team fed and water, and then we'll be going into this last game of technically best of 3, but just a 3-match showcase. So we'll be back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't go anywhere. Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the IESF National Qualifiers friendlies between the Welsh team here at Esports Wales and the Irish team. Myself, Mad Dante, and joining me and rolling his eyes at me very disrespectfully is Blazy Bard. How are you, boss?
I've never once rolled my eyes. I don't even have eyes. I don't know where you're getting these slanderous accusations from.
What are those on your face then? Surely they support your eyes. Speaking of supporting eyes, Justino and Ping have already supported bullets into the eyes of 2 of the Irish members.
And in fact, 2 of the Welsh members as well, having already fallen down. The bomb is here. Wait, we're coming in hot on the pistol round. As crawling around the side here, Tree is going to find one, and the T side is looking strong. Last 2 CTs here. They want to make something happen, but between Unicorn and Artist, they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, so anyway, we joined and the bomb was already planted, and shenanigans had already ensued. We have moved on to, as you can tell, Anubis for our third and final map. So we had a Nuke Ancient Anubis set, which is a very solid kind of all-round kind of map pool that you'll see a lot of teams play in friendlies. It does give you the best idea of what you want to kind of develop in each map. It does also they're maps that aren't really reliant on like super kind of, out of the box crazy plays. They certainly have room and potential for them, but for the most part you are happy just to run what the opposing team expect and just try and do it better. But speaking of running and trying to do it better, the CTs or the T's are already in the CT spawn and extinct. Great to start it off with 2 in that Mac 10.
Esports Wales, they wanted to play this slow, but Ireland just do not want to let them do that. Coming around the corner, Mac 10's ablazing. And they are going to pick up 4 out of 5. Just Rizzy left. And, well, scratch that sentence from the book. Tree looking to pipe up a little louder than he did last time. One of the few members that didn't really get too much limelight this time around, hopefully. Looking to stamp his name on this match.
Well, it's a hot sunny day. We need some shade. What better than to put 360 in and get those frags and create even more space for those trees indeed to grow. It's going to be phenomenal stuff as we see a very aggressive push come out from the Irish team canals. And what was that? Hang on. Going back,
I get it now. 360. Like
yes, because he's Irish in the end. We can't say our threes.
I understand. Ping is going to put the entirety side into a blender. The rest of his team combine to take down all but Artist. Sneaking around with his Neon Rider. He's going to find 1 CT on the other end of the smoke. 2, in fact, and 1 right behind him. He's not going to make it. He's not going to even make it to the second defender. Just Ollie cleans up that one.
I mean, it seems that the Irish team can count to 3. The Welsh team can count to 5, and in CS, one of those numbers is far more vitally important than the other one, as it does mean the Welsh squad are able to put their first round on. Already, to be honest, the most, and it seems weird saying this, the most competitive game and the most competitive beginning we've had of all 3 maps thus far.
Yeah, map 1, all Ireland. Map 2, for the first 5 rounds, all Wales. This time around, 1-1-1. We'll have to see if we can find ourselves a trend, but at the moment it is just a bloody free-for-all. Artist actually claims credit for a kill on himself. So well done to Artist and that FE nade. This one's going to go back in favor of the Welsh team. Blistering rounds.
Anubis doesn't really, if you want to play Anubis, you can play it fast. You take that mid-bridge, fall down into Canal, rush through that kind of that B-box area that links Canal and B site, and then that way you've really got all that you need. You can try and maybe kind of set a lurk towards the B main, and this is if you're coming from the attacker side, by the way. This is T side, of course. You've got all of that to kind of work with. Similarly, though, as you can see, CT's, the Welsh squad already doing it by just sprinting down the Mag 10. Rizzy is chasing you down. He doesn't want to let Artist paint any more pictures of defeat. 360 haven't answered back. The Tag 9 has been filthy in the hands of all of these players so far. A gun that, honestly, I believe is underrated.
All I'm seeing right now is the Irish squad with 4 pistols and a dream. Never count this squad out of a pistol round with that flashbang. We're going to be shooting into the darkness. Extinct finds that one, and now 2 guns resting in the hands of Team Ireland. 3 defenders left, and, well, we're picking them off one by one.
It all comes down to these encounters, these engagements. We can see there's a little bit of hesitation, a bit of lack of certainty as to where the players are all set up and cozied up. And speaking of, are you going to expect one close to your right? You don't, but the shots are still better from Zerk. Jackmon not really having the guns or the abilities to deal with it at this angle. It now comes to this T-box side. Jessadinho walks away with it, and now this counterplay with one member still lurking towards that mid. They may have to try and get this rotation down as fast as humanly possible.
One defender left, finds Extinct. There's still one guy left. Tech9 in hand. One's gonna be defused. Doesn't even matter. There's a kit. He wasn't a loser. He bought a diffuser, and Tree's gonna fall down.
Like a woodcutter's axe to the hopes and dreams. Ireland not realizing that, or 360 in fact, I guess, not realizing that in order to create some space, to create a lush, ever-grown leaves, as Just Ollie is saying, Jimmy, you need to peek, bro. And yeah, a little bit does need to be said. 360 immediately making fun of Just Ollie's English by saying peek. Technically the wrong peek, but the minute you do the what is it? However, minor spelling mistake, I think already all mental has been clogged and flushed down the drain.
And this is a game all about mental, holding this long angle. Ping jumps up at the wrong time. You gotta commit to crouching or not crouching. You can't have it both ways. That's gonna cost you the angle and the position. Molotov hits Rizzy in the face, and it's gonna be another distraction for Unicorn to skewer him through, along with his teammate. One defender left standing. It's all down to Zerx. He's got 3 to find, and, well, Unicorn, he's back. 3 on the board for the boy. 7 and 4.
Well, I was going to say the man, the myth, the legend, but I guess the horse, the myth, the legend, Unicorn that it is. Yeah, phenomenal shooting, 7-4. I mean, we see Extinct 360 even join up as well. And Jackmon, who has been the other one that we've been seeing a little bit less, kind of prevalence from, still understanding his positioning, still very much getting the util value out. So in no ways, to say this is a show without Jackmon, it would not be the same without him. Even if it simply is vibes, team-based games, as you said, it is very much down to the mental and the relationships that you've got, Blazy. So anything that they can do to keep that up is better. And with the spike, I messed it up. Damn it, I actually managed to catch myself every other time. With the bomb planted, it's a 4 versus 3 versus 4 retake. The frags are now just coming out either way. It's became a bloodbath.
3 vs 3 left standing. The spike is down. Ireland fighting with what is essentially an extra man. Ping charging into the site. He's able to get a find Extinct this time around. The rest of the defenders taking their time, playing it slow. Smoke's going to go down to block off the last 2 T's. Tree, though, able to find Ping, and the spray is going to lock off Ollie from the bomb, forcing the retreat. Rizzy slinks back off, and Ireland claim the edge this time around. 4 and 3 for the Irish squad.
And that is a 3K for 360. Wait, no. The other way.
3K for 360?
A 3K for 360 is exactly what it is. Phenomenal shooting. And yeah, the Irish squad, they seem to have the setups here. They're very able to quickly establish the space on one spot. They're not getting confused. They're not getting, you can see there's no real hesitation or concern. We're hitting A or we're hitting B, or we're at least taking this angle on mid. You can see it very confident, very cozy. Oh my days, maybe a little bit too confident, as Rizzy immediately shuts down Unicorn, follows it up with 360 already hacked down. And while I was oh my days, while I was complimenting the Irish squad and their aggression, I need to now compliment the Welsh squad in their capability to shut that right down.
Jackmon claims 1 for himself, and Ireland are fighting in a bad spot here. 2 members still on the board up against Wales with 4 out of 5. Some deagle shots come through. Wales looking to replicate some of this magic that they got from Ireland. It's a much slower paced round this time around, though, Dante, as Wales finally want to slow down the pace, recognize that they're losing. Ping, he thought about the knife kill there. He almost certainly thought about it.
I think we all did, and that's the problem whenever you see someone like that. Rizzy though is not. Oh, the little bit of an overspray. I think Rizzy's good enough to know when to take his finger off the trigger. So maybe now, with this being the last map, all guns are firing, all barrels are facing each other. This is a mental diff. This is a mechanical diff. This is a true vibe diff between these two teams. And to be honest, with it being 4-4 as equal as it is, would not have it any other way.
It's been a beautiful match to watch from both of these teams. It's been a little bit up and down. I feel like every other round we're watching Kobe Bryant playing. The rest we're seeing minor league basketball as Ireland charge down the lane all the way to A site. Plant that bomb down. They beat the defenders. And they're going to make it all the way. Bomb goes down. I feel like I've said that before. And now with a man advantage, Ireland are in a really solid spot here. Wales, they are reeling from the speed. Ping, once again, finds a team player lacking from behind.
And it has been terrifying. We did see, though, that aggressive push. You knew exactly what they wanted from them, and Ping keeps trying to rack up these kills. Eventually does go down, but Zerx and Jessadinho still trying to get the time. Defuse the bomb, 2 seconds left. Maybe hasn't been expected to stick it. Oh, the shots come through! The defuse doesn't come through! Just barely, I think 0.02.
Devastating to see, but if you're rooting for the green, you are certainly happy at that play. A little bit of luck maybe involved, able to just get back in time, but the knowledge to step back away from that firefight, not overcommit, and then re-engage with that MAC-10 in the closer quarters definitely paid off for Team Ireland now. Although both sides are looking a little light on utility. This attrition warfare really paying off Artist, though. A lack of utility does not mean a lack of effectiveness. A HE grenade claims one, and this gun's gonna taste Ping's blood as well.
I mean, you mentioned low on utility. Here you go, Jessadinho, have an extra one on the house, as that was absolutely deadly. It's a very common swing angle, so of course, pepper it with utility. Grab yourself some extra space. Speaking of grabbing extra space, Ollie playing off the smoke absolutely beautifully, gets timing, but Unicorn, a rare miss indeed. Taxi line up with the creature, and now with a 1 versus 1, it's down to the man, the full myth, the legend who's oh so thought to be extinct. The smoke goes down from Ollie to counter the molly. He can't find this. He can't find the bomb. He does, but he's got no kit. The spray comes through, and it is gonna find him extinct, having no problem sniffing Ollie out through that smoke.
6 seconds left on the diffuser. Even with the upgrade, it wouldn't have quite been in time. And Ireland, I think maybe, well, we're seeing somewhat of a pattern emerge here. Ireland win 2, Wales break it up. This could be a little bit of a breakaway. This time around, Wales only have pistols in hand. That's 1 Deagle, a P250, and some... Oh, sorry, 2 Deagles, a P250, and some other assorted weaponry. No utility from the Welsh side this time around. Instead, just deciding to group up on A, which does seem to be where Ireland have preferred to go, and it's going to pay off for them. Everyone is here, and Ping claims first blood.
Maybe an overzealous swing there from Ping. Excellent shot, of course, but we've seen how quickly, how ready he was actually able to take that, re-swing. In fact, there was just no one there to back up. It could have been pushed over aggression, but not getting quite down. Instead, it's 360 who wants to show you this is a re-swing. That's not a re-swing. This is a re-swing. It's extinct, helping him back out. They don't expect, though, another member at Xerix just to walk through. The timing as well isn't quite there. He doesn't expect extinct to 180 to try and take the fight, but he absolutely will, and this confidence has led Ireland into a very solid, honestly, 4-7, 3 rounds consecutively for them.
Very interested about that final play there. It looks like Rizzy steps out, wants to do something, sees the grenade walk past, and tries to jump away. I'm not really too sure what happened, but the bottom line is Ireland pull away finally from the pattern that they've been kind of locked into, now sitting 3 points above Wales as we head into the last round of the half. We'll have to see if Wales can even this one out. Unicorn and Artist combined to pick up 2 for themselves as the T-side push on, and Extinct looks to make that his mission statement. Wales, with 1 member left standing, scratch that, Extinct makes that 0 members fall to 4 and 8. Ireland put themselves in a great lead heading into the second half.
Oh my, no, CYC before it's CQB. What does that mean? That means check your corners before it's close quarters combat. Extinct, having no concerns there, just to wait. Noticing that the Welsh team had been starting to get a little bit aggressive, a little bit comfortable, in fact, in their kind of over-eagerness to take the map position and going, yeah, perfect, walk right into me. I know if I leave Canal blank, if I just hide in that corner, you're not going to clear me. And speaking of trying to clear me, oh my days, Jackmon and Unicorn just running through. It's Unicorn to run through all of the utility being spammed, and Jackmon to back him up. Meanwhile, the remaining 3 members of the Welsh team have all pushed towards this A site. The bomb is going to go down without incident, to be honest. Unless these shots come through, they will not. Zyric's able to pick up Artist, and now 3 versus 4 retake.
Oh my goodness, Unicorn hits that headshot like it was butter. Rizzy, though, finds a few more, and what started as a really bad round for Team Wales has flipped on its head. Bomb is down, ticking away, 30 seconds remaining for this defender to find something. Ollie, not quite. Sorry, Ollie is quite going to be able to claim that kill. 360 falls, and Wales, they do put a stop on this momentum from Ireland. Let's see if it lasts.
I mean, bringing that momentum back for the Welsh side. Indeed, looking at it, I mean, you know, the worst performing player is only 2 kills lower than their deaths. You know, that's really not that bad. That's you know, something that can easily, you know, 1 round difference can suddenly make or break all the difference there. So we'll have to wait and see if that does. And speaking of, no concerns here. Meet the rest of us. We will see you on site, ladies and gentlemen. And to be honest, it looked initially like it was the Welsh squad that were going to welcome the Irish team on with open arms, but instead it's the Welsh team to take away, and not the CZ, not again. It's done so much before, it can't do it again. Oh my god, okay. Just Ollie shutting it down before Artist paints the most expensive picture since the Mona Lisa.
That was... It's terrifying to see the CZ hitting heads that far away. It feels criminal. I want to say it's criminal. I think maybe we should send out an arrest warrant. Somebody needs to lock up this man. But what this does lay out for us is a return to form. Wales have their feet back in this game. Ireland forced back onto pistols. Again, don't count them out. They will definitely take rounds with these pistols, but what it does mean is that Wales have a commanding advantage. You know what? I'm just gonna shut up, because
Just
apparently Ireland doesn't even need guns.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a nerf if you buy an M4 if you're in the Ireland side. Apparently, these boys could only need 800 credits and a dream. Meanwhile, it does seem like the Welsh squad need the kitchen sink with how much utilities being pushed through, but at the very least, not going to have to worry about the water bill. Ping plays off the flash beautifully, gets, I believe that was 3, but now being shut down by 3. Extinct has managed to wrap around the entire site. Not going to find anything with that. Justinho and Cohen of 2 versus 1 with that bomb. Tick, talking, and 360. Unless he can grow an entire orchard, Justinho gonna swing out with Ollie and put him back in the ground. No water, no sustenance.
You know what? If I am the CT side and I'm playing with 5 pistols and nothing else, and I force the T's down to their last man in a desperate struggle, I am happy. And the Econ says just that. Artist returns to form, AWP in hand, ready to click some heads on these longer angles. And this is why I say you can never count this team out of a pistol round. Every single time they get their hands on these sidearms, they are seemingly the strongest players in the room.
Again, take their primary weapons off. The AWP is the only maybe sort of, you know, outlier to that rule, but everything else is more comfortable. Speaking of comfy, Ping, get comfortable with that HE grenade. Half your life is gone. Your teammate is fallen. Artist refusing to miss any shots with the AWP. Tries for the reswing, maybe. Doesn't know the timing on Ping. No, never mind. Is going to check that. Absolutely not going to let Ping away within an inch of his life. And meanwhile now, the Welsh team just kind of stuck in this B main. They do get Unicorn.
3.
Very much over-exaggerated.
3 kills so far for the AWPer. Artist can't make it 5, might make it 4. 1 player left, trying to push in, and it is going to be the 4, almost shouting down comms. Extinct, why did you steal my ace?
Because it was so easy to do so is likely the response you would get. That is not something that the teams... I mean, obviously, ace is an ace. At the end of the day, the round is the round. Of course, the ace is just further for style points. And again, building off what you've been saying so frequently, Bard, there are 2 sidearms for the side of Ireland. There are 5 sidearms for the side of Wales, which means there are about to be 7 sidearms for the side of Team Ireland.
So we're going to come down to mid. Let's see how the T's can beat this. A big wall of smoke. Oh my goodness, he doesn't even know what's waiting for him. The onslaught of T's as they pour out of the smoke like some kind of death pouring substance in the night. Jackmon does put a stop to that momentum, and now it's just 1 left on site. Zerx has to fight too many people from too many angles, and Ireland are able to beat the surge of players. I really could not find the right word that I was looking for there, huh?
You know what? I like the death substance. Just out of sheerly, and because, you know, based in the UK, when I hear an overflow of tea, I just immediately go, ah yes, what the Americans fought so hard for their independence on. that's the only line I would have had for it. But yes, the overload of tea spilling into the canal, and it will be unhandleable for the Welsh squad.
Was he spinning the bomb in his hand?
Yes, you can inspect the bomb now. Welcome to CS2.
Excellent. I have been gone too long, evidently. I didn't realize that the bomb, a highly explosive C4 device, was now a fidget spinner, pushing through the smoke once again. Team Ireland looking to beat the defenders. Ping and Zix are able to find 2 for themselves, but not without cost. Wales answer back for themselves. The bomb is all the way back on the T side of the map. We're slowing it down a little bit. The bomb is collected. And now the CTs have to play a guessing game. We've lost 2 players. Do we coalesce? Do we go 1-1-1? Looks like they're putting their eggs towards the B basket as they start to move over.
And that would be correct of them to do so. This is very much in terms of, you know, the Ireland versus Wales. This kind of gives you the example, you know, Ireland didn't have like a half round kind of slow down. You know, very much all the util was used, their sight was controlled, their positioning was absolutely solid. Meanwhile, the Welsh team have done a little bit more of a shaky kind of push to try and get it. Unicorn just understands that Zerx is going to be in that angle, then looks away from his screen and doesn't shoot at Justinho. Was a bit, maybe just a timing on looking at the map there. It can happen to us all.
He got him right in the head. 15 HP on the defender. He got gooshed. And was able to survive on the range in that critical damage reduction. This is why everyone wants the AK in hand. You get a headshot with that 4A1S. Yes, it's going to hurt. It's not going to kill in one. Jesse able to take full advantage of that and secures the round for Wales. Stemming this momentum once again, but Ireland only need 3 more to take it to the W.
And in theory, Ireland have very much been capable of it. In fact, so capable, may we introduce you to our friends, the Deagle, the 5.7, the MP9, and our resident Opper. Meanwhile, the Welsh squad, very much just your kind of standard buy. Not full, oh my days, this is not a standard push at all. Very aggressive from the Ireland squad. They're trying to just end this now. And a little bit of a whiff shot does come through, not going to get punished as Rizzy and Zerx pick up 2.
Wales surge forward, looking for the A site now. Ireland have to play reactive, and it's going to be Artist, the one on site, to beat the T's. If anyone can do it, it's him, but Zerx says, enough of your snipes, Mr. Man. Get into a coffin, he's going to fall, and now, I mean, what do Ireland do in this situation? You got a Deagle, you got nothing to lose. It's a pistol, baby, and Just Ollie's about to feel the wrath of some Irish sidearms.
And that's a start. 360 now opting to try and upgrade for a gun. Maybe did upgrade to a gun, and that's why Zyrex could suddenly kill him. I believed had that Deagle just stayed out, Immortality would have followed, and maybe a 1 round for the Irish squad. But now the Welsh team bringing it back 10-9, tantalizingly close. I genuinely believe the first 2 maps were a bit of a warm-up. This is for all the marbles. This is the serious shenanigans. We are seeing, I think, genuinely the big difference between the Welsh and the Irish, the round differential. The Irish attacks just felt so coordinated, so cohesive. The Welsh team, very solid, but just having a bit less kind of certainty as to what their plan is.
It looks like the difference between brute force and coordinated assaults, right? As Rizzy does exactly that. A flash goes through, simple, quick, effective. We don't need fancy planning. We don't need fancy smokes. Just make them blind and line them up. That's exactly what he does. And now Wales have a commanding position here on the B site. 2 defenders left on the Irish squad. Have to play for all the marbles. Wales, this entire game, has been nipping at the heels of Ireland. This could be their opportunity to finally take a commanding spot for themselves. And Rizzy looking to make that a reality.
Rizzy just doing a basically half marathon around the rest of the map, managed to get himself all the way back from A, rotate all the way through B, and then get himself back to the T spawn, where of course he lit up the last member.
Zeus.
The patience, the Zeus. Oh no.
Well, that's the Zeus and Artist who, listen, I was genuinely sitting here thinking to myself, why is he saving? He just has a pistol. There's no use. Now it pays off.
There is Zeus.
Yeah, he has a Zeus. He gets the opportunity. He walks away into the next round with an AK in pocket and the ability to buy a gun for one of his teammates, which is so useful given the economy on this Irish side. We now have full utility and Unicorn already opening up this round.
And meanwhile, we're starting to see it. It's very much just kind of came down to the 1v1s. The fights have came through. Extinct doesn't need to see. Tree doesn't either. To add in one, Justinio and Rizzy are immediately going to answer that back. And these are the scrappy fights that are close to the end of a first to 3 or a kind of friendlies. We even see a little WTF in the chat from Ping there. This is all going to come down to just your 1v1s. Who's faster at reacting? Who's got the better gunplay? I think the time for collaborative, cohesive team fights are over, and it is now just 5 1v1 death matches, and the winner walks away.
Just has to find 3 individual fights. The first one, tripped and fall. Artist claims credit for the round. 11 and 10. Ireland, they like it when Wales nip at their heels. It means that they are squarely in front, and that's where they believe Wales belong. They're already 2 maps up, and while the Welsh squad have been putting up a stellar fight, so far it has not been enough. Would love to see Wales to pull up 1 map here. 2 rounds will do it for Ireland. Wales have to answer back a little bit louder and really secure this with Ping. That might be a reality.
Solid as well with Justinio there. Now what is meant to be a very solid piece of position for Unicorn, essentially just trapped, boxed in, and we see that lurk towards the mid there. We do see Extinct trying his best to do the strat that we've seen so comfortable with, but this time Ping, no concern. Had the read initially, kind of psyched himself out, believes it's a swing from the outside. Of course, looking at this map, we can see it's just attempted control towards this mid side. And you had asked, Bard, it looks like we're going to a potential, penultimate round of what could be an overtime.
Could well be. It's definitely looking, if any of these maps are going to end up in overtime, this will be the one. This one's going to run out of time. Ireland, even with just 1 player left standing here, they are able to save this AK through into the next round. It's going to be important. 11-11. Wales and Ireland, 2 points separate each of them from winning this map. 1 point separates both of them from tying it up at 12-12 and leading us to an overtime.
Indeed, and one thing I do, like, again, looking at the, I just want to kind of bring to attention, like, the score, like, the kill feed right now on the scoreboard. This is the map that definitely every player in the server seems really comfortable on. We have seen performances on both, we've seen basically pure performance from Ireland on Nuke. It was a bit of a weak showing from Wales. Then we obviously moved on to Ancient, where there was a bit more back and forth, but you could still kind of see who the predominant players were, who like the star players were, who were you know, getting supported by the rest of their team and playing off of the util phenomenally well. This map has been anyone's game, no matter who's been the last alive. They have been able to make a clutch player. They've absolutely shown that they can make that work and make that dream happen. So this 5 versus 5 treated super patiently. No one wants to overextend.
It's quiet on the Western Front. It's quiet on the Eastern Front. Both teams scared to make a peep other than some disturbances in the water. Rizzy Looking for this first engagement. Flash comes through, and it's going to be Jackman to fall first. Rizzy building this lead. Finds a corner. Finds another kill onto Extinct, and that's the A site opened up. Looking for a little bit more. Smoke comes down. Still looking for this angle through the smoke. Not quite able to find the last defender on the site, but this is opening up the environment, drawing the attention away for Ireland's grand plan, the B site, where they are now squarely on.
That was played phenomenally there. We see the flash go through, the util not quite as much, and now Artis trying his best to cling this from the jaws of defeat. It's not gonna go likely. There is still a deagle in the hand of the last surviving Irish member, which does mean this round is not even close to over, but 4 people, 6 shots in a deagle, or I believe it's 6, it may actually be a few more, but enough shots to try and make this work should they wish. There goes 1, 2, Unicorn not quite able to make it up, and now, as you said, Bard, at the very least, either Wheels take this or we go overtime.
It's lovely to see. It's lovely to see a story of a game, and you know what? Kudos to this, to both of these teams here for playing out all 3 maps, even though we are, missing that kind of element. This is technically a best of 3. Ireland technically win this set overall, but without being able to see this third game, we wouldn't be able to see this lovely performance from Team Wales. Unicorn, though, they want overtime. They want to make sure that this slash line reads 3-0.
Yeah, and it looks like they might be online to do it. However, that aggressive push up mid has essentially given the A site up for free. You need to get this bomb planted as soon as possible, which has been done. It means the util stays alive, but how can you stay alive when it's Extinct and an MP9 drilling into the sides of your heads, already taking 2 members of the Welsh team out, and suddenly making this overtime prospect so much more likely.
3 to find, and it's not quite gonna be enough. Only 1 member of Team Ireland falls, and we are going to an overtime. Wow! That's the only punctuation that I can really stamp on this, is just wow.
Again, you want good CS? Seems you want to be going to Egypt. This is where you want both teams to be comfortable, to understand the maps. You head off to Egypt, you get that flight, you hide behind the pyramids, you live under the glorious sun, and then realize that you gotta recreate that on the other maps that are a bit less sunny if you're the Welsh squad. But again, very solid performance from them.
Mirage and Inferno, very classically go-to maps there. Equally sunny, equally...
Oh, yeah.
Similar vibes. Anubis is basically just Mirage, if made in 2023.
Reasonable. Oh! You don't need to see it, you just need to hear that. And Extinct actually line up as well. Is that double up commit? That is cheeky.
It's triple AWP commit, in fact. 3 members of the Irish roster have operators, not operators, just AWPs. So I'm trying to elongate it. Here we go, moving through. 2 people already down on the Welsh side, pushing through. Trying to gain some sort of foothold onto B, but Artist not having any of it. Zerx falls down, Smoke's here. Rizzy needs to make something happen. Unicorn in an absolute clinical move. Perfect. 0 deaths. Ireland. Maybe they just wanted to show off.
I mean, to be honest, it felt pretty close, but to be honest, walking into a, by the way, we're in overtime, here's 3 ops, you can't really read that if you're the Welsh team. You can obviously, once you get the first kill down, or once you get the first loss to the op, okay, at that point, you identify there's at least an op online, suddenly your smokes and your flashes are far more valuable, but 3 ops basically covering every major lane of Anubis is very difficult to deal with, no matter which team you are, and speaking of, it seems like there's going to be no time to deal with it.
2 kills straight away. Tree, beautiful strafing to get away from the pushing in T's. Meanwhile, though, Rizzy does 2 of his own. Now it's a 3v3 situation. The T side, they want to cool off. They want to consider their options. They're going to run into a Unicorn who guns down Ping. Looking for Zerx now. Is going to get traded out. 2 for 2. Still a relatively even situation. Look at that flashbang, bouncing it all around. Zerx has a defender around that corner. The sense is there. Not really too sure what his teammate is doing, though. Look at this $1 million marathon from the Welsh side. But he's found the flank on B. He might find the defender here. I think Artist It's going to be Tree, in fact, not Artist. Artist is all the way over at A, but Tree gets wrapped around and Rizzy finds his third kill.
And the bomb doesn't go down. I think they can hear. Yeah, I believe Zerx can maybe hear the rotate coming through. The timing's not to not commit to this B site and just have a call actually that now Artist is going to be rotating from A, and neither of the Welsh team are actually going to interact with him. This is basically now a guessing game for the Welsh squad. Meanwhile, as soon as this bomb goes down, at the very least, it's a guaranteed 1v1 for Artist, but he seems to have already snagged based on the fact the bomb's taken so long to go down.
Yeah, they've taken him too long, really, here. They know that he's moved on to a different site. They've given him too much time to react. It pays off for them in the end, but I think in that situation, if you hear those steps, if you know he's going to the B site, you've got to make that move to A quicker.
Just a bit of pensity, and I think that's been a summary of, the Welsh versus the Irish squad. The Welsh squad have that bit of pensity. They're a bit more nervous to do the execute. They're a bit more, considering, what if this goes wrong? How do we do it? Meanwhile, the Irish squad, they don't really get to what if this goes wrong. They just get to, okay, execute A. If A doesn't work, execute B. Speaking of executions, both members tagging each other pretty sorely through the wall with the ops, but no frags coming out thus far.
Yeah, Artist is able to just narrowly avoid the HE grenade there. As now, the T side have gained control of the mid area. Smoke goes down. Tree takes a look around. Spots a T on the left-hand side of his screen. Runs away, only to encounter two more waiting for him on the bridge. Ping claims credit for that one, but Jackmon answers back. That's important, but Rizzy, he wants to keep that numbers advantage for himself. Claims the Artist's life. And now Ping pushes that disparity even further. Only two left. Scratch that one. Rizzy picks up this operator. This man has woken up. He is running this game. The conversation from Team Wales. How can we Riz up Ireland?
I believe it's usually a steak pie and a Guinness. But for the case of this game, it is suddenly just create a bit of a belter. And again, speaking of belter, Rizzy not quite able to style with the Deagle shot, but now all the utility Unicorn essentially living the exact same thing he experienced beforehand, having to run through all that utility to try and deal with a post-plant scenario he's not going to walk away from. First OT doesn't get anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We run it back.
2 more rounds Wales has to claim in this overtime. Ireland, at this point in the game, they are still fully in it. And it's 1st to 4 in this overtime. And it's gonna be, it's too close to call, Dante. It's too close to call. Both of these teams have been playing so well. This time, though, Ireland, very importantly, opting to not go for any orbs. Just going off the M4s, still even on the CT side.
I do like that. I like the kind of the committal. It's surprising because the triple op side kind of worked, but now you're going from the, okay, they may expect it, so their positioning may be different, and that's exactly how it works, but it's Unicorn and Artist again. You want a duo to fear. I mean, scratch that. It's basically Unicorn and anyone else on the Irish team. He is able just to spring them to new heights, let them carry over the rainbow to new heights, to new horizons, maybe even get that pot of gold.
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
Thank
Stuff that I couldn't say. If I said that, we'd be having a different conversation. But this time around, just Ollie. 2 defenders left on the Welsh side. We're going to have to see how well they do. This bomb, I think, has been ticking a little bit too long, though. And I think that's it. The first round should go squarely in favor of Ireland. And this could be a repeat. This could be Ireland building back up this momentum.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see as the frags just keep going back and forth. And yes, remember, because of the fact how the overlay works as well, ladies and gentlemen, please try not to be too confused with the maps and such going through. As we said, it's just going to be a lot of side switching, so we will try our best to keep you up to date with it. But right now, it is the Welsh squad on towards that CT side. They have now moved over, and it is the Irish squad towards that attacker side. So we'll have to wait and see now. The Welsh squad do seem to be favouring the attack, it's got to be said.
Yeah, so far it's been good for them. We'll have to see if it keeps paying off. Very aggressive here from Wales, very quickly making it to the B site. A lot of utility already used. And now it's Extinct looking to push in. Flash comes through, but Zerx isn't going to let him get on site for free. They know there's trick already. That pop flash isn't going to work twice. Ping and Artis trading kills. Artis finds another one. Hold on. Numbers are evened out, and now Tree, even through the flash, is able to claim a kill onto Ping. Bomb goes down. The defenders are a little far away. It's going to take them a few seconds to make it in. Now 3 members of this Irish squad can position, and oh no, Rizzy off the mark gives away the flanking position. Is able to get a bit of damage off, but this time around, not enough to matter. Ireland, 3 on the board, 1 on the ground. Wales have got to do something special here, but it is just Ollie by himself.
He doesn't even know where the bomb is. He's got a kit at the very least. He taps it through the flash. The lineup is actually nearly there from Unicorn, and Artis not quite. 1 extra step to the left will ensure Unicorn takes the shots down. And now with this round advantage, Team Ireland are again swapping towards that that T side, I believe. Meanwhile, or sorry, they are swapping back to that CT side, and it'll be the Wash squad towards this T side. Have I
All
lied?
to play for
I
here.
think I've lied.
No, you're
misinformation
absolutely
with the
fine.
internet.
Ireland is fighting out the right side of your overlay. Wales are on the left, ladies and gentlemen,
yes.
and all Ireland need to do is win 1 more round. But Ping has taken off their MVP. Unicorn no longer around to claim lives. Going to be all down to the rest of the squad to pick up the pace. He's been carrying them this entire time. That's a bit of a stretch, though. I feel like I'm being mean. The rest of this Irish roster have been just as strong with this leader on toe.
I mean, they have, but speaking of the util we've been mentioning about, so pivotal, Jackmon and co, good for 1. The op, though, Ping refusing to miss Rizzy like the monster from Lost to just burst out of the smoke to take Artist into the afterlife, and suddenly what seemed to be such a aggressive, such a happy push for the team, not going to quite work out for the Irish squad, is again equalised, and we do another overtime. Run it back again, ladies and gents.
When there is 1, there is almost certainly a million. Overtimes are something like rats, I think, in that perspective, where you very rarely only see 1 of them. And this is going to be no exception to that. Yeah, there's always more rats when you see a rat, right? And in this analogy, I suppose, the rat is the overtime.
Yes.
And we are, of course, seeing more of them, taking us to another potential 6 rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is basically another game on top of the game that we've played. And at this point, you have to start bringing into the conversation the toll that this amount of game is going to be bringing onto these players. They have been sat at these PCs now for 3 matches. This is, if this entire overtime goes through, that's an extra 12 rounds on top of the 13. The 25 that they already played before then. So it's going to start taking a toll. We're going to start seeing changes in how these players are playing.
And so far, it seems to be the Irish squad wanting out is how it seems to be playing. Just very much wanting to run away with it, try and make this work for themselves. And yeah, that's now we see the ops come online. We actually see it from both sides. That has been pretty rare usually. It's been the Irish team that are kind of more reliant on it just as a kind of pocket pick, a surprise, you know, to try and control that mid. But now both sides very much happy to make it work. And it will probably come down to, as it so often does, this util spam towards the mid, this util spam towards B. Unicorn picks up the first frag, was going to mention the fight towards A, but that's not really going to happen as the rotates already start coming through. Unicorn runs onto the site with the backup of Artis. Bot goes down and Unicorn can back him up regardless, he just needs himself.
3 kills already in favor of the Mythical Beast. Only 2 players left standing on the Welsh roster. 3 in Ireland's hands, and now with the bomb down, it's a very tricky situation, especially with Rizzy falling down here. Just Ollie has to make magic happen in Tree. He's not a fan of magic. He's going to put that one down. Ireland, 2 rounds in the bag. 2 left to find.
Seeming very, very comfy, it has to be said. We can look at the scoreboard now. I mean, look at these, you know, the worst performing players. Jack won 18 and 23. Meanwhile, you know, like, it's been a very even kind of close game. Unfortunately, we do have to say, Ollie has been struggling in the gunfights, but very much with the util setups and, like, that position, we have seen some solid play. It has just been a little bit unfortunate. Speaking of solid play, this is the member, this is the person you fear. Rizzy actually manages to find Extinct through the smoke, but Unicorn doesn't care, happily walks away with a third, already B site control. But look where that bomb is. It's all the way towards the A site, and I don't even think the Irish squad care.
I think Rizzy knows as well. He's already positioning himself back
Oh,
over
no.
here, but it doesn't even matter when you've got an artist with a palette knife in hand carving up his latest masterpiece. And that is going to be match point for Ireland. 3 rounds left in the overtime, Dante. Ireland need one of them. Wales, they've got a fight on their hands, but they've proven to us before that they can do it, and especially with such an irregular bye, this actually might work out in favor of Ireland to catch them by surprise.
I mean, we have seen, I think this is now coming from the, maybe a little bit of, okay, you know, good-natured trolling, but we have seen, and what we are doing is everyone has been very much hiding in the smokes in this mid, and I think very much the plan is, okay, we'll meet you in the smokes in this mid with the, you know, most powerful weaponry that we can possibly match you on. Jackmon with the position, not good enough, actually picks up Ollie in the background somehow. The scoreboard just erupting in kills, and so far it seems to be, has worked out for the T side, or for the CT side, 3 members of Live. The spikes, it's still not planted the bomb, apologies, but with the shotguns being sprayed, Team Ireland walk away with the victory.
Sometimes all you need to do is switch it up, find an unconventional strategy, and, you know, we can talk about trolling, we can talk about, you know, it's good-natured trolling. I think that there is absolutely nothing wrong picking up these XMs, going for that surprise, finding that irregular angle that they're just not ready for, especially, we have not seen a shotgun this entire series. Not this map, not this set, but in this last round, just to close it down, bring in something different that they're not ready to deal with.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is fair. I mean, that's the thing. The shotguns in CS are always seen as such a, you know, okay, you know, it's maybe getting a bit. But with how both the teams were playing, I mean, we've seen so many times the mid smokes on that bridge were just, you know, little Pink Panther moments of shadows going past each other in them, and, like, you know, the smoke dissipating and someone having to go behind you, by the way. Like, there was a lot of that, so it very much made a lot of sense, and it's nice to see that was that form come through at the end there. Especially, again, I think we really do have to highlight the nuke game was not good.
No.
No.
Yeah, the nuke game was bad, but, you know, you can say what you like about it being a warm-up, you can say what you like about these being friendlies, and maybe these players, you know, they weren't, you know what, well, they should have been, you know, we're going to treat this like any other set. When something's a friendly, when there's no stakes on the line, it's so easy to just go, well, we'll just use this one as a warm-up, we'll just warm into it, and they certainly did. A little too late, realistically, but if we had have seen this level of play from Game 1, Game 2, I mean, Game 2 was also, it's such a difficult one to call. I'll put it this way, chat. The score might say 3-0. The games do not reflect how close this series actually was.
No, it really doesn't. Like, again, okay, Nuke's a little bit, but I think from that, because the Welsh team have struggled on it a lot, so to be honest, I think Nuke now gets kind of just ban that. Just ban that and don't think about it ever again. Just move on. Just don't do it. But we've seen how confident, you know, 6-7 rounds back-to-back on Ancient is not an easy task. Ancient is a very complicated map. Doing that same level of control on Anubis slightly easier, but you were dealing with Ireland's very confident aggression, very much kind of just bursting out onto every site imaginable with the util to back them up. It was super clean to see, so to hold that to an OT is very impressive, and I think, to be honest, a phenomenal VOD to review and look back on where those small micro adjustments can be and how you can develop them.
Yeah, I think for sure there's a lot to learn for both of these teams, but if this is the level of fighting form that we're going to be bringing to you know, the international stage at IESF, I think both of these teams have the potential to do some real damage on the international scene.
I think they do, but for that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that will be me and Blazy Bard signing off for the night. It has been absolutely phenomenal. Bard, a phenomenal cast with yourself, I must say. Thank you to everyone on the production side as well, because we did have some little glitches and things, but they were dealt with incredibly fast, so yes, a wee golf clap for them, of course. Thank you for the Ireland squad for offering to scrim with us, and for the Welsh squad being so damn enjoyable to watch. And until next time, obviously keep an eye out on the Twitters and such for more updates, but until then, we love you, and we will see you very shortly. Take care.